first half of this.
Should be ready.
Is it on?
Yep.
Okay. So, I don't know. There's no reason to go over a recap of last week. We know what we did. A couple days have passed. You've healed from your wounds. You've touted your new trophy around the base. Julius has recovered from his thrashing he was given. You are called to the office by Commander Integra. You hear your names over the speaker. She doesn't even call you names. She's boys.
Well, I'd assume that's us. Let's go have some more fun.
Oh, let's done close Crunchyroll while we're at it. Pulling up. There are a lot of reference images this week. Okay. So she's at her computer, turns around, big smirk on her face. Julius, how are you feeling?
Very good, ma'am.
Excellent. She walks down here. She says, now, I reviewed your fight with the Hullbreaker, your footage. That's recorded on the cameras in Ash's helmet and on your vest there, Julius. You two both fought admirably. I understand you boys probably want a chance to collect more trophies, fight more great beasts. And she goes from her super calm demeanor to extremely aggravated in a second, right after she finishes that second. Well, today will not be that day. You will not get to do that today. Today, she pushes a button and a picture. Oh. Or a bikini girl. Of this woman appears. It's in the Fire and Ash channel. Appears on the hologram. She puts her hand out, grabs her cigarette from her mouth with her other hand. This is Miss Cordelia Ina Bernstein. How much do you boys know about Mars? Judging by your naivety, and she is looking right at Ash when she says that, I doubt you know anything about the political landscape of Mars.
Cannot say I do, ma'am, just that it's a red planet.
She looks
About as much as I know.
She looks very disappointed at Ash and Shakes. Understood. So, Cordelia Ina Bernstein. She's a workers' advocate on Mars. Free Workers Union. On Mars, Earth, for instance, where we are right now, EarthGov is in charge. On Mars, it's a private corporation that controls the majority of Mars. They're named MaxTech. Apparently, you've seen some of their guards on footage, and she'll replay the footage from week 1. The MaxTech Commandos. You know a little bit about them, I assume. They produce tech, weapons, stuff like that. MaxTech owns roughly 80% of Mars. Many citizens of EarthGov go to Mars to work because they get paid much more. That being said, most of the big cities and corporation buildings, weapons testing areas on Mars that MaxTech owns, the people who work there are, for all intents and purposes, 1.5, maybe 2 steps above slave labor. The other companies who hold small portions of Mars tend to treat their employees very well, but they're few and far between compared to MaxTech, who owns about 80% of the planet. Miss Bernstein here is a lobbyist for these, let's just call them, for lack of a better word, slave laborers, owned by MaxTech. When you go to Mars, for instance, you saw this way back in Squad Sigma, but when you go to Mars, for instance, once you enter a city, a MaxTech-controlled city, it's rather difficult to leave. Hopefully you two will never have to go there. Miss Bernstein here wants to lobby for these laborers. And that's all well and good. However, she's coming to Earth to do one of her lobbyist campaigns. And many delegates from across the galaxy, some from Mars, some even from MaxTech, from my understanding, will be at this estate. It's an estate in a place called Colorado. Do you know Colorado, Ash? She looks at you again.
I think Ash would have researched at least, like, Earth enough to know that. So, it's a state in the continent of North America, correct, ma'am?
Very good. You didn't disappoint me again. Good job, Ash. Now, big estate, big building. Delegates are going to be there. You would think security would be involved, yes?
Yes, ma'am, I would assume.
Well, there won't be. And she slams her fist on the table in anger. This dumb hussy, and she points at the picture of Kudelia, insists there be no security. None whatsoever. Why? Because why would a peaceful lobbyist want military protection? At least that's her idea. We can't force military protection on the scene in a civilian, private-owned estate. And no other organization within EarthGov is willing to take this mission because, and she plays a recording of a phone call. God, my fucking cell phone won't shut off. She plays a recording of a phone call, and it's a male's voice saying he's gonna kill Miss Kudelia Ina Bernstein. And you hear piano music in the background, and that's all you're getting in terms of clues. And he's going to kill her, as you listen to the phone call, here in Colorado. Today! It's early morning. So with that said, you two, since no other organization's willing to take this mission because it seems impossible to stop this since she refuses all-out Secret Service protection or military protection around the state, you two are going in, undercover. And I have an idea how to get you in. Are you ready?
Ready when you are, ma'am.
Perfect. She hits a button on the desk. Pequod, report to the command center. Well, okay. She comes in. Hi, guys. Gets in between.
Pequod.
Pequod,
Pequod.
you'll be going undercover with Ash and Julius. She, what? You'll be going undercover with Ash and Julius. And you see the defective sentry bot wheel in a wheelchair. And he drops it off. Thank you, Thomas. And he beep, 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 and he goes away. Pequod, you'll be going undercover as a delegate for labor unions wherever you wish to be. These two, she points at you guys, will be posing as your nurse. Why me? Why not Saris? It's being held in the daytime. Saris can't really go out until she drinks, and she's useless. So you're going with them. And you boys are going as... And she pulls out two scrubs, nurses' scrubs, as her nurses. And she throws them at you.
Okay, ma'am.
You'll be going in. And Pequod's freaking out. I can't act. I'm not an SIS agent. Well, you'll go in as a mute delegate. And we'll have Ash and Julius speak for you. I will wait for Julius.
All right. I'm sure it'll be fine, Pequod. We haven't gotten you killed yet, have we?
Not yet. And we'll wait for Julius. Nee.
Did you say the name of her cover identity?
No. You guys will have to come up. I was waiting for Julius. So Commander Integra is going to continue. You guys will have to come up with everything else because I've got nothing for you. No other organization within EarthGov will take this mission. Why? Because as I've said many times when I'm very aggravated, the odds of succeeding are slim to none. That being said, you survived a perfect laid ambush in Seattle. You beat a Hullbreaker class Drake. Odds were slim on both of those, and both of you persevered. You can do this. I have faith in you, both. And you, Pequod. And she's still freaking out over the fact she has to go undercover with you.
Ash is gonna put his hand on Pequod's shoulder. It's all right. We've got your back. We can handle this. I believe in you. We got it.
Why would anybody invite a mute delegate to their estate lobbyist party? And Integra looks at her and says, I don't know, and I don't care. Get a formal dress on, get in the wheelchair, and let these two do the talk.
Yes, ma'am.
Before you go to prepare, you'll have to meet with Miss Bernstein and get clearance from her bodyguard. His name is Cade. She has one bodyguard, He's Cade, I believe, and she's looking on the information she has on him. He's former MarsSec. MarsSec is think Mars Police. They're owned by MaxTech. He's former MarsSec. His name's Cade. You'll have to get cleared to even get into the building by him and Miss Cudelia. Understood?
Understood.
Pequod, here are the coordinates. I'm sending them to your wrist computer now. Go pick out a fancy dress. Dismissed. Waves you up.
All right, man. Well, let's get to planning. Aye.
Yeah, sure.
All right. So, my first thought is, why would a mute delegate be coming to this kind of event? Simple. We pretend you're rich.
Pequod nods. Good idea.
Money, lobbying, changing rules, changing laws, that takes capital, and you want as much as you can get, so a rich heiress to some unknown old money family on Earth would probably be someone that they'd be happy to have at this type of event.
She points her finger up in the air. Who's going to push me in the wheelchair? And she jumps in it and starts wheeling her.
Rock, paper, scissors?
I mean, if you prefer that, I don't know. Either one of us will work.
All right, roll it.
Yeah.
All right. What? Roll. One
I
D1.
just say, I'll go 1, 2, 3, and you can decide like what your call is. 1, 2, 3, call.
Rock.
Paper.
That was a bit delayed, but okay. And
Sorry.
Julius has to push the wheelchair.
I thought it was heads or I thought we were calling odds or evens. That's why I was confused. Sorry.
Julius pushes the wheelchair. All right, well, you have to get your
Okay.
scrubs on.
All right, let's go get changed. Are we able to keep our wrist computers with us?
Yes, but shotgun not gonna fly. Only pistols. Scythe not gonna fly. Bare hand.
Understood.
And you can have your wrist knives if you have those. You know, they can be concealed in your gloves or something. But yeah.
All right, let's get changed, Julius.
Pequod's gonna go to Ceres, and they're gonna go get dressed and pick out a nice fancy dress in here. And while you guys get ready, formulate your plan.
All right, so we need a name.
I mean, for the delegate, it could be like Bella Starnhold or something like that. I don't know.
It's true.
Doesn't have to be good, it just has to be believable.
Okay. Yeah. Fortune would be from just a basic industry.
Basic industry on Mars, one of the smaller ones.
We could
Not many
say,
people know about it.
we could say something like her father made it big off of playing the stock market. That gives anonymity, and you don't have something that can easily be tracked down by, looking at specific industries.
That's true.
So her father made it big playing the stock market. She's decided to use her part of inheritance to attempt to better help workers' rights, I suppose we could say.
Yeah?
It'll immediately endear her to our delegate friend, which was, let me get her name again because I forgot to write it down.
From me,
Yeah, what was her name again?
Cudelia is fine. Good luck spelling.
I'm just spelling it phonetically.
Close it off. I'm pretty sure it's spelled almost exactly. But yeah, as long as you remember it when you see.
And then, alright, we need a name. Honestly, I think it should be something very simple, very everyman. If we're going for this nobody who made it big on the stock market.
For her or the father?
For her. Her father really doesn't make much of a difference. It's just part of the bullshit we're spouting.
It's at this time you realize the scrubs are pink.
It could be worse.
Could be, I don't know, not pink, I guess? Trying to make light of the situation.
Could be clear.
Now then everyone would get a free show, Ash.
Alright, Ah, my goodness. I'm trying to think of a name.
Jenna, Jennifer, Rebecca, basic white girl name.
Jennifer Andrews?
That'll work.
Very well.
Pequod radios you guys that she's ready to go when you are.
You can talk more on the vertibird.
Understood. Let's go.
So you come out to the helipad. Saris is loading the wheelchair in, and you see Pequod in a beautiful red, almost, it's not completely see-through, but sheer-ish. You've seen them on like movie stars wearing them and stuff. Gown with like roses, black embroidered roses and stuff like that. And she looks at you guys and gives you a thumbs up. And Saris kind of giggles and walks off and takes pictures of you in your pink nursing scrubs as she walks off.
I definitely say at this point you're cleaning up better than we do.
I think so. Saris helped me pick it out. Ready?
Ready when you are.
Should I bring a weapon?
Do you think you have one concealed?
Small
A delegate
pistol.
in a wheelchair with a weapon doesn't make much sense.
Even a
A
concealed
small
one?
concealable pistol, maybe.
Exactly.
You have this! And she pulls out a phased Makarov.
That should work as long as we don't get caught with it.
Alright, I'll strap it to my thigh. Inside where you can't see me. And she goes inside the vertebra.
Alright, let's get going.
Damn it.
Alright, so you guys, it doesn't take you long. This vertibird, it's designed to get you anywhere on the globe in under 3 hours. So it gets you there in a hop, skip, and a jump. You're at the estate, but you have to land. You land at, there's two portions of this estate. There's the estate itself and a smaller, like, clubhouse about 10 miles. This is a big, big piece of land. About 10 miles outside of it. And this is where all the screening is being done by Cade and Miss Cordelia, and they're doing it one at a time. So you guys get there. There's no line because most people have already been screened. You're not late, but you're arriving in the last like hour or so before the event kicks off. And you are let in by a couple of butlers, and you find yourself down here. There's a guy up here. He wears just the armor he has just on the picture. It looks like a rebreather kind of combat helmet mask. He has a scarf. He looks pretty tough. He's got what looks like you wouldn't, your characters wouldn't know, but in real life you would know what a P90 is. So he has what looks like a P90, and the magazine glows indicate it's a high-end weapon. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
And he sees you guys come in, and he gestures for you to come up, and you encounter problem number 1: wheelchair and stairs.
Alright, I'll get one side, you get the other.
I'll get the front side.
Alright, we're gonna hobble our way up the stairs carrying her up.
Let's do a strength check just for
Alright.
just for funsies. All right, good enough. You get her up the stairs. Cade comes down halfway and begins to assist you guys. He puts her here, stands in front of you dudes, or stands in front of her, respectfully bows, and says, "Who are you guys? Name?" And he pulls up a list.
We're her nurses.
Okay, and what's her name? Ma'am? He puts his hand out, but she just shakes her head and purses her lip. And he,
This is Miss Jennifer Andrews, sir. She had an accident a while back and has lost the use of her voice.
Oh. He looks at the list and he sees her name there. SIS has your back and gets you guys in. I imagine you make this cover story up and you relay it to Commander Integra before you leave or something like that.
Yeah.
And he looks at the list. What kind of accident?
It was a accident, accident in a hover car. Something happened. She was driving. I guess it would be a wheel. It hit her windpipe, ruptured it. Can't use her voice anymore.
Oh. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. He looks at her and nods his head, puts his hand on her shoulder. Very sorry to hear that. So, what exactly is she doing here? She's come to donate money. She's lobbying. She's from Mars, from Earth. I have the name. That's all I have, boys. I'm Cade, head of Miss Cudelia's security. One-man army. I have to cover all my bases because I'm alone, guys.
No, understood. She's here to hopefully assist in the lobbying that Madame Cordelia is doing. A few years ago, Miss Andrews' father came into a fair amount of money playing the stock market, and since she's been working to improve workers' rights across areas of the galaxy.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I mean, Miss Cordelia is going to want to talk to her, but since she can't talk, you guys you'll have to talk. A brief conversation, and then he looks at his wristwatch. We're running out of time anyway, so he steps aside, and there's this, you saw the picture of her in the Discord. Really cute, blonde chick. She's young. She can't be any more than like 22, 23. And she's sitting on the, nice, big, fancy person couch, and she's smiling, drinking a cup of tea. All right, go ahead, boys. I have to go check the estate. I'll see you guys there, I'm sure. And he walks.
All right, let's wheel her over.
She gets up from the couch, puts her hand out, and shakes her hand. Pequod returns the handshake. Roll a 1d6, one of you. Okay, so as she's shaking her hand, Pequod achoo! And sneezes because of the dust, all the dusty, because this place doesn't get used often. It's a rich person's estate that hardly gets used. She sneezes. Miss Cordelia pulls out a handkerchief and smiles and hands it to her. I thought she couldn't talk.
She can't talk, ma'am. Doctors aren't sure exactly why there's
She
some
can still
noises.
make noise.
Yeah, she can make noise. She can't speak, but her vocal cords are able to make noises within a certain range, I guess you could say, but not a wide enough one to allow speech.
I understand. She sits back down and she says to Pequod, whatever her cover name is, but she says to Pequod, "You must be so brave. So very brave. Is she brave?" And she looks at you guys.
Oh, so brave.
I'd say so, ma'am.
And
Just
she's
adore her.
Where does she come from again? I'm sorry, I wasn't listening to what you and my bodyguard were talking about.
New York City, ma'am.
Oh, very nice. And she wants to donate money to the cause?
She is. As I said to your guard, her father came into a fair amount of money through good investments and playing stocks, and she wishes to help workers' rights around the world's, ma'am.
If she has so much money, why doesn't she just get her vocal cords fixed? Regenerative nanotech is a big thing. Here on Earth, it was invented. Or does she want to really give away all of her money to help the poor slave labor on Mars instead of getting her vocal cords fixed? Is she that much of a saint? And she smiled.
Julius puts his hand on Pequod's shoulder. She really is just that nice.
She looks at you and smiles. How long have you guys worked for her?
Only a
Me
couple
only
years
a couple
now.
years. Ash, a bit longer than me, maybe 6 months longer.
Okay. Well, very good. I'm excited she's here. Have you guys ever been to an estate?
Nothing like this, ma'am.
Okay. Well, there's going to be a lot of free food. I'm not sure if you guys will wearing those outfits. I don't mean this in a degrading way, but wearing those outfits, you really can't come into the main ballroom. But you're free to roam around the estate. There's the base level of the estate, the ground level, and then there's an upstairs level where, from my understanding, I believe the kitchen staff works. There's going to be a lot of free food, drinks. Help yourself. And if you need anything, just see my bodyguard, Kate.
Thank you, ma'am.
I'll see you there. She stands up and bows respectfully to Jennifer and walks off. And as she's walking off, she again, but she doesn't pay it any attention.
All right. That could have gone worse.
Pequod looks up at both of you. This is ridiculous. I'm a pilot.
You can't talk.
I can't talk at all.
Nope.
No, if someone's watching.
She kind of slumps into the wheelchair. How long are we going to be here?
Hopefully we
As
can
long
get
as it's
this.
needed.
Yeah, hopefully we can get it done pretty quickly. Gods, talking in that accent is not easy.
She takes, she wheels herself around in the wheelchair to look at both of you. Can't you just, I don't know, threaten people with scythes and guns until you find out who the assassin is?
It's not that simple, Pequod.
As much as I'd
We
love
have
to, we can't cause a PR incident for the poor general.
Fine. Wheel me to the estate, boys. She pretends to be all high class.
Let's go. Alright. While we're going, when I heard his name was Cato, correct? Her guard?
Cade. Just
Cade.
Cade.
Sorry, Cade. Cade, did his voice sound like the one we heard on the recording?
No, the one on the recording was not. The one on the recording was somebody without a mask on, for sure. It was. I mean, he's a male, and it was a male voice, but like his voice is muffled by his
Yeah.
kind of thing. His voice is muffled by his mask.
Okay.
At least right now. Maybe he takes it off to eat dinner or something. Who knows?
Alright, yeah. Let's start wheeling her towards the place where the party's gonna go. On the way, I'm going to have Ash roll a perception check to see if he hears any music similar to what was in the recording.
Sure. Are you rolling it for here or when you're walking there?
On the way there.
No, you don't hear anything.
Okay.
You wouldn't have heard anything in here either, so don't worry about it. But no, yeah, nothing like that. All right. So I will show you just so you get an understanding of what you have to play with here. This is the ground level, the base level of the estate. The grand ballroom is here and here. It's like a two-parter kind of thing, right?
Okay.
Upstairs is here. Let me get you on the right map. Oh, I have you on the right map. Okay. Upstairs is here. There's people up here. Again, mostly the kitchen staff. This is the grand piano room. If you want to go there for whatever reason, any given time, you just tell me and I'll take you to that map. But you guys find yourselves here. You see, I will reveal them. There's no point to keep them hidden. I just didn't want them on the map in the building yet because they are all slowly arriving. All the different delegates, all down here. You see, hover cars, regular cars, the gambit, you name it, pulling up. You guys are here first, and Miss Cordelia's inside. You can see her through these big doors. Bay doors, I guess. And a butler, he is an elf, dark-skinned elf, comes in and comes to the door and opens it. Greetings, sirs and madam.
Sir?
Hello, sir.
Welcome. Come on in. And he stands aside and holds the door open for both.
Alright.
Bill.
We'll miss Jennifer in.
Another butler comes There's two of them. They're standing here in front of these big, imagine big statues of like orcs or something. It's some rich orc who owns this place. They come up and they allow us, sir. We will take her to the ballroom. You can take yourselves upstairs or explore the rest of the estate anywhere you'd like to go. You are not permitted. Point C here into these two rooms at any time.
Very well, sir, but if Our Lady does need anything, please inform us.
We will do.
1 moment, sir. Julius is going to try and stealthily take Pequod's hand, kiss it, and palm a comm to her, and whisper in her ear, "If you need help, tap it 3 times. Ash will hear it."
She blushes and nods her head and taps your hand, and you don't have to roll anything. That's good enough for me. These guys don't see anything. They're just, oh, it's so cute, and they start wheeling. He starts wheeling her off into the ground. Fucking vertebrate.
All right. Well, let's take our look around, all right, man?
Yeah.
The rest of the delegates start coming in slowly. And, the event hasn't quite started yet, so they're going to spread out around the estate. Some of them know each other, some of them don't. As you're going to look around, they're going to spread out. Do as you please.
As they're funneling in, Ash is going to kind of out of the way and listen again for any similar voices to what was on the recording. Oof.
No, nothing.
All right.
Especially in this place, big ass mansion. Everything it's an echo chamber almost with how much they're talking, like how loud it is. Big place.
All right. Let's move out of the main area so we can let these delegates have their space.
Miss Cordelia kind of waves off Cade, and he goes upstairs.
I think we should go talk to Cade first. Get to know him. He seems like a cool guy, right?
Oh yeah, real cool.
Let's head up. Gonna
After
head
you,
upstairs.
sir.
Cordelia sees you and waves to you guys as you walk by.
Waves back, kind of bows his head slightly.
You go up the grand staircase. Imagine it's like a spiral staircase, too. Like, you gotta really hoof it. All the training in Antarctica, you're easily able to do it. And Cade's here. I think I have your tokens hidden. One sec. You can't see them? Oh, never mind. They're on the map layer. There you go. You're right here.
All right.
And Cade's just kind of leaning over the banister, looking down the spiral staircase. He looks annoyed, and he's scanning around the room, watching people, but he doesn't really seem too engaged.
Sometimes being in clothing like this is a blessing, because, God, rich parties can get stuffy, huh? Kind of directing at Cade.
He looks up at you guys. Yeah, you could say that again. This butler robot, this would be probably your first meeting with, an exoframe. Comes up to you guys. May I get you a drink, sirs?
Nothing at the moment, but thank you.
Anything for you, sir? And he
Oh,
points
God,
to Julius. Okay. Understood. Anything for you, sir. Cade, whiskey. Bourbon on the rocks, actually. Bourbon on the rocks. Sure, will do. And he walks up.
You know, I gotta have a lot of respect for, Miss Cordelia. Openly talking out against something like MaxTech takes bravery. Gotta respect her.
He looks at you and kind of turns his head. Bravery or naivety. One of the two, yeah. To not have a bunch of guards around here, especially when EarthGov was offering Secret Service, SIS, plain old military, it's pretty stupid, kid.
Yeah, you could say that. I mean, bravery is talking out. Not taking help, that's, like you said, naive.
It's pretty damn stupid. Especially, how much do you even know about Max Tech?
Big corporation basically owns all of Mars. I mean, at that point, you can do whatever the hell you want, right?
And you have the funds to pay somebody to do whatever you want. And he just shakes his head. And he looks annoyed and he kind of rolls his eyes. You can kind of see through the translucent, like, it looks almost like a pilot mask. And goes back to looking around the room.
All right. Guess start looking around, walking and looking around the room.
The butler comes back, gives him his bourbon on the rocks. He takes his mask off and starts drinking, sipping. And you guys are free to go do whatever you want.
All right. Well, good luck tonight, man. Given the amount of people, I'd say you being the only god are gonna need it.
Yeah, that's why I got this. And he kind of tips the glass towards you, and he downs it and takes it and slams it back on the butler's tray. I'll take one more, please. Sure. And the butler walks off.
Well, I'll probably be in the same boat as you after a few hours waiting up here. You have a good night, man.
You too.
Thank you. All right, and yeah, guess just gonna walk around down here, look around, see if anybody stands out.
You definitely see this large orc man. He's making what looks like he's playing with what do they call it? Declawing and deshelling lobsters. See him, he looks disgruntled for sure. He's overworked, but he's working hard.
All right.
And you see these three down here. They're baking pastries and stuff like that, desserts for the dessert course.
Okay. Just keep looking through. What about these two?
Go talk to them. I'm just gonna describe what you see in the picture.
Okay.
Julius is going to walk up to the one he's next to.
Okay, so he's another exoframe, and he has a small owl like exoframe on his shoulder. He's looking out these grand windows here. He turns around. Ah, good day, young nurse.
Sir?
And what are you doing here, young man?
I'm a nurse for one of the delegates.
Oh, and they
Come up here.
they sequestered you away up here, did they?
As usual.
They did the same to me, my boy. The same to me. I cleaned the estate, and they sent me up here. However, we can go downstairs. We just cannot go into two specific rooms. I cut all, he points out the window, all this grass you see. I cut it. Every day. And he kind of shakes his head.
Well, I mean, good work ethic, I suppose.
I
Do they
suppose.
pay you well, at least?
Yes, they do. And they let me live here and feed me for free.
Aren't you a robot?
But I can still indulge in the pleasures of food. Exoframes.
Oh.
How much do you know about exoframes, young man?
Not a lot. I know they're basically automations or automatons. One of those
Yes.
words.
Except automatons with consciousness. So I can still enjoy in all the pleasantries of food or smoke and drink. Doesn't do anything for me, you understand, of course, from a molecular level and an energy level. However, food is still very good if I do say so myself, and I can eat as much as I want and never get fat. Like this man over there. And he's eating a bowl of soup.
Who's
The
that?
fat one.
What's the story?
Just a fat dwarf eating a bowl of soup.
What's the story?
Story? He's one of the cooks, young man. He's on his break, eating his own food.
I see.
He's a dwarf. Have you ever seen a dwarf before?
Yeah, I've seen a couple.
Berenger, come over here and greet the young nurse. He comes over. He has a bowl of soup in his hands and a big spoon. And hey, how you doing, young man? And the automatron cuts him off before you can say anything. And he says, you should talk to him about your blood pressure, Barringer. And he walks away and giggles. He stands in front of you and I do have high cholesterol and high blood pressure. I get the shakes at night, the sweats, and sometimes my feet go numb. That's high blood pressure, isn't it?
I would say so, yeah.
What do I do about it? And he sees another nurse, and is this your friend?
Yes, I am, sir. Co-workers.
What can I do about my high blood pressure, young men, without having to exercise, please and thank you?
I'm gonna roll a medicine check to see if Ash knows anything.
Sure. What are the perception checks for? Oh, those are the old perception checks.
He described... what were the symptoms he described again?
He gets the shakes at night, the sweats, and his feet go numb.
Isn't that describing diabetes?
Yep, good job. You would definitely have picked up on that with the 21 medicine check.
Sir, you might want to get yourself checked out for diabetes, because those are some pretty massive red flags for that disease.
Diabetes, you say?
Yes, sir. Left untreated, that can result in pretty severe complications, including death.
Death, you say?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'll have the estate doctor take a look at me now. Here you go, son. And he hands you the half-eaten bowl of soup and his spoon. Enjoy. That's my secret recipe. And he walks off.
Thank you. You know,
He handed it to Julius.
just quietly under his... walks
thank
over.
you.
I think that might be one person we might be able to cut out as a suspect. Just very quietly under his breath.
Affirmative. You check out the pastry chefs, I'll check out the lobster.
Understood. Let's get going.
Oh, and keep an eye on the exoframe.
Okay.
Now, you notice Cade has switched positions. He's looking down onto the estate from over here, kind of watching as the more people kind of shift to the two rooms that, you guys can go back downstairs, just not into the grand rooms. But, yeah, he's just watching them kind of, and you can see it too. They're kind of funneling into the grand halls.
Yeah. As they're walking, Ash is gonna slowly through the earpiece, kind of off to the side, in a way that wouldn't be noticed, mention, the thought had occurred to me that this threat was sent before delegates would have been arriving, so this is most likely someone who was already in the house when we got here.
If they're in a ballroom, they're in a piano. They heard a piano, so they're in a ballroom. So, yeah.
Possibly, but I didn't see one on our way through.
Well, we weren't able to go into the rooms.
It's true. You want to ask one of the people if they know where one might be?
I'll do it.
Got it. I'll go down and talk to them.
Alright.
Peeks his head into there.
Okay.
Just the three of them making pastries?
Yeah, they're hard at work. They are hard and busy at work. They don't even notice you peeking your head.
Gods be damned, they're working you guys to the bone.
The orc turns around. He's got a pie in his hand. Huh? Who are you?
Nurse for one of the delegates. They, booted us upstairs, man.
Oh, they did. Oh, come on in.
Alright.
This cute little elf girl comes up. Try this! And she shoves a cannoli in your...
Ash eats it. It's
It's
good.
really good. Really good.
Gods above, that's damn good.
This big orc down here with the tusks says, that's no way to treat a guest. Try this! And he shoves a piece of pie in your mouth.
Again, I'm assuming good, but...
Very good.
Yeah, really good, but takes a minute to chew. Again, very good, man. I'm gonna kind of use the inside of the scrubs to wipe the crumbs away from his mouth. Thank you very much.
This orc spins around and he has a piece of cheesecake in his hand. He has a pie and one single piece of cheesecake. If you thought that was good, try this! And he shoves it into your mouth.
Kind of takes a step back as he struggles to breathe while eating it, because it's been one after another and hasn't gotten to take a good breath. Just, yeah, it's very good. Ooh.
Now tell us, which was the best dessert? And the girl kind of blocks your path from leaving the room. Yes, do tell! And they're all staring at you.
Takes his time. Takes a very sweet time chewing the cheesecake, trying to collect himself. Well, to be honest, I'd say they're all fantastic. Phenomenal desserts, honestly. I'd order them from anywhere, but for me, the pie reminds me of something Mom used to make back when I was little.
This orc here with the tusk is the one that had the apple blueberry pie. Ha ha ha! I told you my dessert was the best. The little elf girl with the canola prick and walks off back to her work. And the cheesecake guy, and walks off back to his work.
Amen. Sorry. Well, you guys, not gonna keep you guys from getting everything finished for too long, but, hope they don't work you too hard for this.
The orc pulls out a glass. He grabs a glass and runs it under some water. You'll need this. Wash all that sugar down.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So, who are you with? Which one of those fancy delegates?
The name's Jennifer. She, looking to donate to the cause. She, we're her nurses. She has she's paraplegic and mute,
Oh, strange. She's rich, but she didn't get herself fixed up.
She's an altruist, believes in helping others over herself, that whole BS.
Oh, well, hey, as long as she pays you, am I right?
That's what matters. I'd assume with you working for, Miss Caldara, she's paying you very well.
Well, we actually work for the person who owns the estate. He's a rich orc philanthropist, and he donated the usage of the estate to Miss Cudelia for
Really?
today.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Is he still, in the estate?
No, I believe he's in Japan or China right now.
Damn. Alright, well, that's actually phenomenal. Nice to see those who are pretty well off giving a little bit to, giving something to people who actually need it, right?
Rich people create wealth as long as they share it. And he goes back to tending to his pie.
Alright. Ash is going to very much down the water, trying to wash the richness that's now coated his mouth and throat down. He sets it carefully on the counter and walks out. Jesus Christ, they just tried to kill me.
What's Julius doing?
So as he's passing by the stairs, does he hear piano music?
No. Not yet, anyway.
Okay. Alright, he'll continue up to the orc shelling lobsters.
Okay. You see he's now done with the lobsters and he's descaling fish for the main entree for some type of fish soup. And he's doing it at great speed and great intent. He's trying to get all these fish done and chopped up and put into the soup because the soup's going to be served with the main course.
Oh, geez, they only got one guy doing this?
He looks up at you. Yeah, want to help? And he holds up a fish.
I'm not very good with filleting, if that's what you're asking.
Oh, I figured the nurse scrubs and all. Come on in, I need somebody to taste test my soup before I send it up.
He'll step in.
Now, bear in mind, this is just the broth and the vegetables, because the fish ain't in there yet, but grab yourself a ladle and try some of the soup, and he points to one of 10 like big ass pots of soup on these big stoves.
No? Well, don't mind if I do, sir. He's gonna grab one of the ladles, gingerly take out some soup and take a sip.
As you're taking a sip, so what's your story? What are you doing here?
One of the delegates, they're sort of wheelchair bound and mute, sadly, so me and my colleague are here to keep an eye on them, when we're not allowed in the ball, so we're sort of useless here.
Well, tell me about it. I'm getting the soup ready, and I feel useless.
Nah, man, the soup is delicious.
Well,
Awesome.
thanks, I appreciate it. It is my family's secret recipe.
Oh, secret, huh? Can I get in on it?
No.
Oh, fine. It's supposed to be a party. Why isn't there any music?
I believe they're bringing in some type of celloist, harp players, something. I think they're coming in later for the after party. But the current party, they have important rich people things to talk about.
Oh, gross.
Gross indeed.
Alright, well, sorry for taking up so much of your time. Good luck on the fish.
Thanks. And he goes back to descaling more fish. He looks miserable.
Oh, poor guy.
Any news?
Yeah, and they're gonna be sending in a celloist, harp player, basically a band, later in the night. So
Okay.
keep an eye out for that.
Yeah.
The exo frame comes over. Drink?
No,
No, thank you, sir.
Okay. And you see he's got another bourbon shot glass, and he's taking it over to Cade, who has switched positions, and he's now looking down.
Well, you didn't see a piano in here, did you?
no, not upstairs.
Well, you want to go look around in the areas we're allowed in downstairs, and I'll go up another floor?
Seems to be the best choice.
All right. I'm gonna kind of head up, looking around.
I'll go downstairs again.
So, the top floor, we'll go to Ash first. The top floor of the estate, the grand piano room, where they'll play music and all this kind of stuff. Look out from floor 3 over the big, vast estate, and you come up and you see a big piano, big one. And there's nobody in here. It's dead quiet.
All right. He's gonna go down. Can he? From the recording, would Ash be able to tell if it sounded like the person would have been right on top of the piano or near it?
Yeah, they were probably right on top. And, I mean, pianos kind of transcend both. I'd say there's pianos in Gallia somewhere. This person wasn't playing anything in this recording. They were just hitting the keys on the piano.
All right. I'm gonna walk on down and take a look across the keys.
Okay.
You know how with, I'm assuming these are nice ivory keys, right?
Yeah.
You know how with that kind of material you can tell if there's fingerprints or shit like that on it?
Yes.
He's gonna kind of lean in the light to see if there's anything like that on it.
There is a thick coating of dust on all the keys.
Doesn't look like it's been touched recently.
No.
Oh, shit. That's
But-
not good.
But you do remember there was a piano in the clubhouse you went to, which is on the estate. It's, like 10 miles away, but there is a piano there, too, as well as on the first floor of the estate that you're currently in. But yeah.
All right. He's gonna relay this information to Julius, and then, I guess just take a careful look around the room to see if anything's out of place or anything looks like it's wrong. Like somebody who isn't somebody who's not familiar with it would. You know how when you go into a house, even if you're unfamiliar with it, you can tell kind of how it's ordered, isn't right? Does that make any sense? I don't know. Just to see if there's anything that looks crazy out of place, I guess.
Sure. Nope. It looks like it looks like this room hasn't been used in a long time. It's all like dusty, and it's strange because nobody's cleaned it. So maybe they're not going to use this room for the after party kind of stuff because it's not clean. You can definitely tell. Hey, this for a bunch of rich fucks. It's all dusty. It's not presentable. It's not been upkept. So I guess they're not going to use this for the party. That's what you would surmise.
Alright, he's gonna start making his way back down the stairs at that point, because it doesn't look like there's anything for him here.
Sure. Back down to floor 1 with Juliet. I'll put Ash on the stairs.
I suppose he'll just find someone to talk to.
Sure. You see this butler, he's just running with great intent and haste up and down the stairs, bringing hors d'oeuvres and stuff like that in, while this one's standing here, and the door greeter guy is now helping as well, run stuff up and down.
He'll walk up to the one who's not doing anything. So, what you doing?
He looks at you. Waiting for any more potential guests to come through, sir. I believe that is everybody. But just in case there are any more guests.
Well, who's on the docket, really?
I'm not sure. And he kind of thinks, Mr. Cade took the manifest list. The guest list. He took it. We have only one copy, and he took it. But you never know. There could be more guests showing up, so I'm just here waiting to greet any more. Strange, I think. Usually in big parties like this, you'd have multiple guest lists or manifests, whichever you prefer, but Mr. K took it.
I see. Well, that is odd. Well, thank you for your time and your bit of freeing myself from my boredom and, awkwardly walk away again.
I understand, sir. I am quite bored as well. He has a very dry stare as he looks out the door.
Yeah, he's gonna go back up the stairs.
Okay.
Anything of note?
Kate has the manifest of the party. We talked to Kate, try to get some knowledge from the manifest.
Well, I think I've already exhausted my goodwill. Going back to talk might look weird. You wanna?
Yeah, sure.
Alright. Yeah, we're fresh out of luck with the piano up there, so now it could be anyone. Damn it.
What if it... You said there was a piano back at the clubhouse we were at.
Yeah, you definitely saw one, yeah. Yep.
This might sound weird, but do one of us want to go back to the clubhouse to check out the piano, see if there's any fingerprints?
It's a 10-mile trek. Do you really think it's feasible? It's gonna take me a time to get there. I'm in decent shape, but I'm not any 10 miles in under a few hours. And about what time is it?
It's about 2 in the afternoon. But one thing you did notice as you were walking and wheeling Pequod, or Jennifer, is that there are golf carts. Like, you can get driven there. It will take a little less time for sure. Find a butler, see if he'll take you. Or you could take one yourself, whatever you want to do.
It's your call. I'm going to talk to Cade.
I think that's an option. One thing is see if we can find out if anybody has ties to Max Tech, possibly.
That'll be another thing.
All right, let's go with Ash down on floor 1, because none of the butlers up here could give you a golf cart. But yeah, we'll see if you can get a golf cart without having to steal it.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Good day, nurse.
Good day. It's a nice place, but it's damn stuffy in here, isn't it?
It can be, yes, it can be. It is a big grand estate, sir, and as you can see, the high ceilings, widespread walls act as an echo chamber. I often, and he points to his temple, suffer from migraines from that, let alone the stuff in it.
Yeah. Man, that guest house back there was a lot more comfortable to be in.
You mean the clubhouse?
The clubhouse, yeah. Sorry about that.
Yes. I don't go there very often, but yes.
We were told we were allowed to wander the estate. Are we allowed to go back there?
I don't see why not.
All right.
I will drive you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Right, so you guys go outside, get in a golf cart. He couldn't wait to get the fuck out either. While you're driving there, we'll go back to Julius upstairs. One thing you notice as you're approaching Cade is this is probably the 4th time the guy's brought him a shot, and he's downed it and said another, and the robot walks off.
Jesus Christ, this guy can hold his liquor.
He's gonna walk up to him, lean against the banister, opposite to how he's facing.
Okay.
You okay?
Oh, yeah. Just bored. Bored and on edge. I mean, this is a big place, a lot of angles, a lot of big windows, and he kind of looks around. You see his eyes looking around, and he's got his hand resting on his P90. Not a lot I can do, you know what I mean?
Yeah. You should take it easy on the alcohol, though. That'll clear your sight.
Yeah. Well, you know. And right when he says, you know, the robot comes back, takes the glass, downs it, sets it down, and the robot says to him, I think you've had enough, my good sir. And he says, whatever. And the robot walks away, and Kate says, you know, shit happens.
Yeah, like the one who you're supposed to be protecting dying.
Yeah, well, I mean, she's kind of asking for it, if you ask me.
Why do you say that?
You see the size of this place? There's nothing I can do. I can't protect her, and I can't even get down in those rooms. As far as I'm concerned, this is just a trip for free drinks, kid.
Well, I mean, like, what do you have? A copy of the manifest that the butlers have? Probably memorized all their faces.
Yeah, kind of.
Kind of?
Kind of. Here, you want it. He hands it to you.
Oh, sure. Thank you. You'll start looking over it and reading it.
Bunch of rich people names, most from Mars, some definitely from Earth, some from Japan, China, one from Russia. Most consist of the United States, stuff like that. And he says, as you're reading it, he says, job's a job, kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, if it pays good. Was there anyone who didn't come?
Didn't come? I don't think so. I'm 90% certain everybody's accounted for.
Alright, thank you. Do you mind if I hang on to this?
No, go ahead. Have fun. Do your thing.
Alright, thank you.
Now back
Oh.
at the... Oh, good.
One more question.
Sure.
Why are you wearing the mask?
This thing? Well, he's not wearing it while he's drinking it, but he pulls it up and he says, on Mars, like the red planet, there are portions that still aren't terraformed, so you have to wear these.
I see. Now that his mask is gone from his face, does the voice sound like the one on the recording?
You can roll something to see, but
What would that be? Insight?
I'd say insight.
11.
So, the best way I'll describe it is... I don't know. I'm trying to think. Oh, actually... Oh, I don't want to mention that on stream. Okay, well, you know who called the comic shop, and you weren't sure? That.
You're
You're
so
like-
I just...
Like, was it or was it not that individual? Right? Kind of thing. Before they started saying something that, like, affirmed it was them, yeah, that's where you'd be with an 11 insight roll. You can't tell for sure. I mean, a
Sounds
deep male
good.
voice.
Alright. Alright, thank you very much, Gabe. And I will walk away, and I will keep an eye on him.
As you're walking away, the one thing you do notice that, I mean, you went through basics, so it would strike you as strange, but maybe not because he is a bodyguard. He does have a silencer hanging off his belt for his P90, so that's kind of weird. But, or at least I would be struck as weird, so I think you guys with basic training would too. But either way, it doesn't confirm anything. But back at the clubhouse, let me get your butt. That is not your butler. Oh, well, he doesn't really need to be here. He's not going to come in with you. You're free to go around and do whatever you want. He's not going to follow you in. He's going to wait. He's basically your taxi driver at this point.
All right, and gonna message back. You gotten a hold of that manifest yet, Julius?
Yep.
You want to send me over a copy of it as well? See if I can notice anything while I'm looking around here.
I'll send it to Ash.
Okay. And the piano, it's not on the map, but we can just say it's like up the stairs.
All right, he's going to, same as the other one, take a careful look at it to see if it looks like it's been played recently.
Now, a lot of stuff in here is the same place with the, the grand piano room. Dusty and stuff like this. This piano is not.
Freshly cleaned.
Yes. Not the whole piano itself. In fact, the cover is still on the top portion of the piano, but the keys are exposed, and the lid that covers the keys has obviously been lifted up. And about 4 or 5 of the keys to the far left side, right side, have been played with.
All right, can I try to... I don't know if my wrist computer would have something that would be able to try and scan for fingerprints.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'm going to try to scan for fingerprints.
Go ahead.
What would I roll?
Insight.
Insight?
Sure. Yeah. So your fingerprint scanner comes back, and it tells you somebody's definitely touched it, but there's no fingerprints.
Damn. And
If you want, you can try and match up the wavelength of the recording you have to that piano.
Yeah, I'll do that.
You'll do that with the 25, and it's a match.
Alright, so it looks like whoever threatened her played on this. But who would have been alone with it? Ash... I don't know. He's gonna scan... I'm guessing it just has their names and where they're from, right?
Mhm.
Damn. Alright. Let's take a careful look around to see if anything else around here is out of place. Guess perception.
Nah. Nothing else. The only thing you find is there is a day log, like you have to sign in. If you've ever been to like rich fancy clubhouses and stuff like that, they do have these things, as ridiculous and archaic as they are.
Yeah.
And you see a day ago, because Miss Cordelia and Cade arrived a day ago, they signed in. The butlers don't have to, staff don't have to, but they were here a day ahead of time. But that's it. I mean, in terms of recent activity in this building, like the butlers any staff can go between the buildings as much as they want, and they don't have to sign in because they are supposed to be here.
Okay, actually with that, do we have the rough time when that video was posted? Or when
It was
put out?
you can't tell when it was created, but it was definitely sent today. This morning, 6 a.m.
Okay.
6 a.m. this time zone, not
And-
Alaska.
Yeah. And how many people, other than Cato, or Kate, him and Cordelia, are there any others other than them that had signed in before 6 a.m. today?
No.
Sorry. Keep saying Cato, I'm sorry. Don't know.
No, there's nobody else. I mean, you saw most of them arriving when you were arriving.
Yeah.
so.
Alright, Julius. Well, I know it's not much help, but I found something that, it narrows down the amount of people that it could be quite substantially. There's a sign-in book here, so the only people that have signed in within the time frame that it would have taken for that video to be created are Cade, Cordelia, and then just staff members like the butlers who can go to and from.
Alright, the staff members, from what we both saw, aren't, in cahoots with anything. They're trying to kill Cordelia.
Yeah. Alright, well, does he
The
hear-
butler comes up and greets you. He has a drink in his hand. He mixed it from one of the small wet bars around the clubhouse, and he says, "What are you doing in here?
Just looking around. It's a beautiful building, isn't it?
You talk to yourself often?
Yeah, who doesn't?
Interesting." He sips his martini. "Well, you're driving back to the estate," and he goes to mix another one.
I'll take that deal. For, I'm gonna check if the butler sounded similar to our friend on the video.
Sure, you can roll something if you want.
Insight, I'd assume.
No, doesn't. It's like apples and oranges. It's a deep male voice. This guy is, and the way the guy talked, he said, "I'm gonna kill her today. She's gonna die today on Earth. On Earth, it'll be an embarrassment to Earth," kind of thing. These butlers all speak like proper, well, and good English. You know how they talk.
Okay, so that's... Is there anyone else anyone else I've heard... As I'm driving him back, Ash is going to be thinking, is there anyone else I heard that I talked to that didn't sound like they spoke that would fit that kind of English, not proper English?
Yeah, for the most part, Cade and the the kitchen crew, they're definitely not, they're definitely not. They're not all about proper, manners and stuff like that, and super precise, proper English language, or common, as it would be here, I suppose. They're just getting by. They're normal people like anybody else.
All right, drive back, I guess.
And Cade is Marsec, so I mean, he was basically a patrol officer in Mars. He's an everyday man, so it's not strange that he would talk like that.
Yeah. Okay. Guess drive back. See what Julius is doing.
Okay, you and your tipsy butler arrive back. He has to throw the martini glass as you're getting close to the estate away because he's not allowed to drink. And as you're walking, you see poor Pequod surrounded. She looks so confused and out of place, but she's enjoying her food surrounded by all these stupid rich people.
Just gonna laugh a bit. Hey, I ain't gonna say shit. You, have a good time, I guess, as good of a time as you can with, stuffy rich people, eh?
The butler looks at you. Yes, if you're talking to him. You're talking to him?
Yeah.
He looks at you. Yes, indeed, sir. And he's fixing his glove just like he is in his picture. And if you'd like to go on another break for a drink, just let me know. It's going to be a very long day. And he has a blank stare as he looks out the door.
I will probably end up taking you up on that, man.
I'll be here waiting.
Alright, gonna walk back upstairs. Alright, so I found out that the video was recorded at the clubhouse. Couldn't get any fingerprints off of it, but it has been played there, and like I said, the guest book eliminates pretty much any of the other delegates as being viable options for who's threatening her.
Mm-hmm. There's only really 2 or even maybe 3 options as to who I think it might be.
Oh, hey, man.
Does he see the dwarf walking?
Yes, as you're talking, he walks up. You boys were correct. I went and saw our doctor. Well, I called her and explained my symptoms. Our state doctor. She says I might have type 2 diabetes. I thank you boys tremendously.
Nah, man, you're welcome. It's our pleasure.
And with that said, I am going to get a pie. And he walks off and goes into the dessert making room.
Ash kind of has to take a deep breath to stop from laughing at the irony of what just happened in front of him. All right.
Oh my god, that poor man kill himself.
He is, but so you said 3 options. Cade is an option, and do you think either of the exoframes are?
Definitely the exoframe. And the one that has been serving him drinks all night, maybe? The one who kept on coming back after 4 or 5 shots?
Yeah,
When the exoframe probably knew that he was the bodyguard.
yeah.
And as you're saying that, he comes right up to you. Water?
Oh, god damn it!
Yeah, I think I'll take you up on that one.
He has sparkling water in little, fancy cups. Take what you would like, sirs.
Gonna take one. Quite the party, ain't it?
Yes, sir, indeed. And you notice he has another shot of bourbon on the rocks on his drink tray, and he's like looking around for Cade. Where did that scruffy fellow get off to?
I don't know.
Did he
Strange.
ask for another drink?
Yes, he did, sir. He did. He came into the bar and demanded another one. I do try to cut drinkers like him off, but I am here to serve.
Well, let's see if I can help you
Honestly,
find
hey.
him.
Personally, I think
Nurse's
he's a trump.
orders. Nurse's orders. Don't give him any more shots.
Understood? That's fine. Medical professional clearance is good enough for me.
Yeah. Does, I guess I'll roll another insight about his voice.
Definitely not him. Definitely not. And as you're listening to him talk, he comes over and once it's poured, this shot glass is $100 per shot. And once it's poured, it cannot go back into the bottle, good sir. So, with that said, bottoms up, and he shoves the shot glass into your mouth, Ash. He forces you to drink it.
Ash takes the drink and just, oh, thank you. Thanks. Oh.
You're very welcome, good sir.
Immediately, tries to chase it with the sparkling water, even though it's not gonna do anything.
He puts more cups of water in front of you. He puts the drink tray out closer to you.
Takes another one. Thank you. That's appreciated.
You're welcome, sirs, and good day. And he walks off.
You too. I think we can cut that one off our list. Thinking back... Sorry.
Julius perks up like he just realized something.
What?
The piano was played, but no fingerprints, right? Either
Yeah.
gloved or no fingerprints. Exoframe. There's another exoframe here that didn't really want to talk to us and pulled the dwarf over. So just follow me. He's
Yeah.
gonna walk over to this exoframe.
As you approach, you notice his eyes, which would glow, and the owl's eyes are in a powered down state, and he's projecting the sound of snoring.
Alright, I'm gonna hang back a bit and keep an eye on them while looking around the room for any sign of Cade.
Sure.
He's gonna try and shake it awake, I guess.
Okay. So you approach him, and as you put your hands on him, he wakes up. Oh, it appears I've missed something important. Oh, it's you. What can I do for you, young man?
Sorry to wake you. I was just wondering, have you seen the dwarf? I just wanted to talk to him about some medical things.
The dwarf. The soup maker.
Yes, he's gonna be listening to the bot's voice.
No, I have not seen him since I told him to speak to you about his high cholesterol. That moronic little creature.
Oh. Alright, thank you.
To be honest with you, young man, I've been sleeping back here. Try not to tell anybody.
Oh, of course. It'll be our little secret.
Thank you, boy.
No problem.
And his
Did the
voice
voice-
does not sound... No, not even close. I imagine you guys have a machine on your computer that is trying to match, wavelengths, but since it's like a poor recording, and it was probably purposely done to be poor, it's hard. These are coming back negative, 100% not match. Like,
All right. I suppose you talk to the pastry chefs again. Just
Yeah.
talk to them and the lobster guy, and I'll try and find Cade.
All right, you got it. Gonna walk back over towards the pastry chefs. Take a look
Okay.
and just look in.
so they're just getting all the desserts they made. They're putting them on trays, and you see those butlers from floor running up, grabbing the trays and running out, kind of thing. But yeah, they're done baking. But yeah, and diabetes Wilford Bremfley or whatever his name is, Dwarf Mode is in here helping now, even though he does make soup and hors d'oeuvres.
You guys need any help?
We got most of it covered. Would you come back for more free dessert, youngin?
I might take some, but just you guys are working your asses off. Don't want you to feel like I could help if I got nothing else to do, right?
Here you go, prick. She hands you a tray of cannolis. Run it downstairs.
You got it. Oh, just so you know, don't let our friend there eat too much. He apparently just got a diabetes diagnosis. Don't want him keeling over while the party's going on.
He spins around and looks. They all look at him. What? What? You moron! Feed me the cannolis, young woman. I don't care about my diabetes. And they go back to, prepping, and now you have a tray of cannolis. Congratulations.
All right. Did any of their voices prick the thing up?
Nope.
All right. He's gonna walk that off to the nearest butler and hand it off.
You find Drink Boy. He takes it. Oh! Where are you? He takes it. Ah, thank you, good sir. Thank you. I will, I'll do something with these. He walks downstairs.
Let's go over to Lobster Boy. Look in.
Still hard at work, putting soup in bowls.
Hey, man, you need any help?
No, I'm almost ready to go. Are you another nurse?
Rich lady's got 2 nurses.
Oh, sounds about right. Want some soup?
Not right now, man. I just walked into the kitchen and they shoved like 6 things down my throat.
So you're in here. He walks up to you and he has a soup ladle and he presses it against your chest. Do you know how much of an insult it is to come into an orc's kitchen and then turn down the greatest creation of his life?
Alright, he takes the ladle and just downs what's in it.
And what do you think?
It's good, I'm assuming?
Yes, it's very good.
It's very good. One of the best soups I've had.
Smiles, I'm glad to hear it, boy.
Jesus, there's a lot of shit going on today, ain't it?
Yes, sir, there is a lot of shit, but that's why we get paid so well to do our job.
Yeah, I'd be...
It's a great gig. Let me tell you, when there's no parties going on here, we get paid to do nothing.
And ain't that the dream?
Hell yeah.
Be surprised if anyone hated what she's trying to do. Well, other than the rich pricks who don't like it, I guess.
Oh, the Kugonia chick or whatever her name is.
Yeah.
Her and her stuffy bodyguard. He came in and said my soup was terrible.
Nah. Can't imagine he's in that good of a mood. You know.
A Martian wouldn't know what good cooking is, let me tell you.
Yeah, say that again. Yeah, I don't know. Just feels weird that she ain't got more like guards than just the one, right?
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, depending on what this estate's been used for in the past, we've had EarthGov military brigades. You could see them right outside the window, guarding the whole place. This is... I guess she doesn't feel threatened here on Earth.
Yeah, either that or it's some kind of virtue signaling.
Could be. Could very well be, as he pours some soup into a ladle.
Yeah, so I'm guessing you guys all know each other pretty well. You and the kitchen staff and everyone. You probably worked with each other a bunch of times.
Yeah. We've been here... 12 years. We used to work at a restaurant together. It went under. It's in a town called Denver. We went under, and we got hired here. 12 years? Something like that. Maybe 14. Been a long time.
Hey, that ain't a job, that's a career. That's something to strive for.
Getting paid to do nothing is the dream as he moves over here to get another big pot of soup.
That it is. Damn, well, I guess I'll leave you to that. Taking up enough of your time. Have a good night, man. Once your job's
See ya,
over,
sir.
yeah. Might come back in and drink a bit later because, let's be honest, it's gonna be a long night once all this stuff's done.
As you're saying that and walking out, you notice there's many open bottles of vodka already in the room. He's either been using them to cook, in soup, or drink. You're not sure which.
Are they high quality vodka or
Oh yeah, everything here is high quality.
just under his breath? God, better taste than Cade. Alright, and I'm gonna check his voice against the thing.
Okay.
Insight.
Zero match. And as you're looking at your wrist computer, the butler comes up to you and he hands you back an empty tray of cannolis. There you go, good sir, and he walks off.
Thank you. Over the mic. Alright, I just went through all three of them. None of their voices match. It sounds like they've all been here for a long time. So that means we got one lead at all, and it's Cade.
All right. Looking for Cade now.
I'm gonna drop this off and meet you there, alright?
Affirmative.
Quickly runs in and, here you guys go.
Thank you. And you
Well.
see Diabetes Man just shoving down more cannoli.
Alright. Guess go bird watch the stuffy rich people from the banister. See you guys.
See ya.
Alright, meets up with Julius. Alright, let's, I'll take up, you take down. You, see him. We'll alert each other, right?
Yep.
Quietly, because Pequod has the comm in, right?
Yes.
Quietly let her know through it. If you, Pequod, if you see Cade. You said tap 3 times if you need help, right, Julius?
Mm-hmm.
If you see Cade, the bodyguard, tap twice.
She says in a very muffled through her teeth, "Get me out of here."
As soon as we can, as soon as we can. Alright, Ash is gonna slightly hurriedly go up the stairs looking for Cade.
Sure. The grand, useless room, basically, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Looking around. Nothing?
He or somebody's definitely been here because, as I described, this room is dusty. You would not present this to this type of people, and it's so dusty. You see, there's another trail of footprints on the floor. It's not like mega defined, but there's another defined set of footprints that you can't follow them where they go exactly because there's not enough dust all over the floor. But somebody's been through here.
Quickly look around and see if anything other than what Ash touched has been touched. Well,
No, I mean nothing big has been touched.
alright, looks like he might have been through here. And this room is completely cut off from where she would be, right?
Kudel?
Yeah, Cordelia, there's no way to, other than the staircase, no way to get from this room to where they are.
Conventionally speaking, no. Unconventionally speaking, yes.
Oh, shit. 2 things. He's gonna check the windowsills for, if the dust has been disturbed, like the windowsills, and I guess that's an open banister up top, I'd assume.
Yes, all up here, yep. And there's like bookshelves and fancy people stuff.
And is there a dumbwaiter?
No. If you want to roll something, see.
Yeah, I'll roll another perception, see if that's better. Didn't mean to hit the intelligence, it's 17.
So just like Predator camo, though, you wouldn't be attuned to this because they don't show you this stuff or train you for this in basic training. You swear you see an outline up here somewhere of a person.
Up here,
All where I'm pinging. You swear you saw one.
I'm not seeing any pings.
Am I still on the map?
Now I see it up here.
Yeah.
He's gonna bolt towards the door while saying, someone's up here. Think they're invisible. Kind of
Alright.
position himself in the door, hoping to, I guess, get in the way or hear anybody going by.
Okay. I'll bring Julius up since Roll20 still does not allow people to place their own tokens. That's just
Actually,
normal.
let me try it with this one.
Yeah, try it. I put you down, but try it. I never figured out if it was like some kind of setting I accidentally enabled or not. It just stopped
Nope,
working.
won't let me.
Prior
No.
prior to like episode like 10 or 12 of Squad Sigma, you guys were able to. So I don't know. I usually don't mess around with like the hardcore settings of the game, but yeah. Okay, well either way, Julius comes up a little bit out of breath from chugging up all those stairs, but there you are.
All right. You do you see anything? He's gonna look over in the areas where the thing he thought he saw, and see if there's any footprints. That's the wrong button. I meant perception.
Ash Dunn persuades the room.
If only.
Tell me what you see, room. No, so what you do see is burnt. You see smoke coming from the ground in multiple places, and it looks like somebody was burning with a very high-powered laser a hole, and you're able to come over here. You can see through the holes. It goes all the way down, and it's hard to tell, but you could see into the ballroom, and you realize, like, wait, this is the same side right below us. Granted, it's 3 floors, but yeah, somebody's like burning holes with a high-powered laser, or scorching ray, as Ash would, kind of conceive it. And they're small holes, very tiny, but definitely enough to stick something through. And you can just barely see. They're like little fucking ants down there in the grand ballroom. So you can even see Pequod down there. Like,
Shit. Oh God. This is where whoever's planning it is gonna have it go down.
Alright, there are a couple options here. Putting a barrel up to the hole, shooting, obviously, blow dart, whatever. Poison. Is it directly over her food?
Would Ash be able to tell that with his?
oh, you guys go look in the holes and decide for yourself. Roll something, both of you.
Right.
Whoever's doing this is going to shoot with a weapon, a gun. And they were drilling holes to find a good angle, albeit it's small, right? Because they're with the laser weapon he's using. He's burning holes through the floors to try and get an angle on Kudelia. She's at the head of the table. And it's at this time you hear one of the butlers say, "Where did that hole come from?" Like, from down the stairs. Through the hole, you can just vaguely hear the robot butler that's been serving water and drinks, like, "That's
Shit.
strange."
Would this be the hole that'd be about the right size for a P90 to fire through?
Interestingly enough, as you're thinking that, you feel a silencer press against the back of your head. And you hear Cade's voice. He's got the mask on, and he says, "Nurses, huh?
We're very good at our jobs.
Very good at your jobs." And it's at this time you notice he's got the P90 to Ash's head, but he doesn't have anything aimed at Julie.
Alright, man, we can talk about this, right?
Who are you guys really?
Who are you, really?
I'm a merc. What more is there to say? I protected Miss Kudelia for years. I was offered more money, and I took it. And besides, what good is she?
Right. Yeah.
To be honest, I didn't even want to send out the message, and he has a recording of his own message. I didn't even want to do this. My employers paid me extra to do so.
Plausible deniability for you. Not bad at all.
Perhaps.
Why would her own bodyguard threaten her over the radio?
Yeah, and he kind of pushes, and he has the silencer on the P90, so the barrel's longer. He pushes it, and your head kind of slumps a little bit. So, what do you say, you two? Disarm, because I'm sure you got something there on you. And you tell me who you really are.
All right. Slowly takes the pistol out. The pistol on his right hip out. He's gonna try and, I guess I'll roll sleight of hands to try and, hide the fact that I have two pistols.
Sure. As you're doing that, he says, "Mute delegate." That was pretty good. I'll admit, you got me with that. I didn't think anything of it. And he's too busy grandstanding to notice what you're doing.
Hey. You go
But
ahead.
as he's saying that, he was reaching for a sidearm, and he starts aiming it up. It looks like a 9mm Cheetah Beretta, and he's now aiming it at Julie.
Aye. I gotcha.
He moves over here, so he has P90 to your head and a Cheetah Beretta aimed at Julius's stomach. Beretta Cheetah, whatever they call it.
He's gonna set the gun up, slowly kind of turn towards him. The gun held in a way that he wouldn't be able to shoot him. Turn towards him, kind of bend down, set it on the ground, come back up. It's alright, man. I ain't stupid enough to try something right here.
Silencers on your pistol still?
Mine?
Yeah.
No?
They come equipped with silencers for free. Are they on or off? Doesn't matter to your sleight of hand roll. I just want to know for something.
Off.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
Alright. Now, let's talk this out.
Indeed. Let's talk. Presses the pistol up to Julius's belly button. So, EarthGov SIS?
No?
Armed nurses?
Yes.
You want to tell him? Or?
Huh? I mean,
Kinda blown anyways, eh? Headhunters.
Ha! Headhunter. Who would have thought? That redundant agency. Interesting, they sent you. And your delegate. What is she? Your CO?
No, just, co-worker.
Co-worker, huh?
Aye.
Nice little piece of ass like that.
Mm-hmm.
no real connection to us.
Interesting. Looks at Julius. So, what do you say I get rid of you two and get this job done, huh?
While he's saying that, Ash is gonna kind of look like he's scratching the side of his face nervously and tap the comm 3 times.
Okay.
That way Pequod knows there's bad things going down.
Okay.
Julius is gonna do that thing where he's like, putting his hands in front of him, like, okay, we can talk about this, man. You don't gotta shoot her. You don't gotta shoot us. We didn't see anything. You never did anything. Huh?
You should
All
have
you
kept
ever
up with
did
the
was
nurse.
say,
You should have kept up with the nurse gig, and maybe I would have believed that. But EarthGov headhunters, I'm sure you got a commander to report back to. You're not gonna go back and tell her you let me get away with it.
I mean, yeah.
Technically, but
Hey.
we also never committed anything.
That's also true. And I hate my CEO. Who cares? You know? And he's gonna think fire with his thing.
That 1 second. Oh shit. Okay, where do you want it to hit him?
Where's the most like open skin on his body?
Definitely the neck. It's hard to see in the picture, But can you see how there's exposed skin under his neck there? Kind
Yeah.
of. The yellow. Well, it's. I think he's actually supposed to be a robot. That's where the picture comes from. But it's skin. But it looks like yellow robot
Yeah.
something. But yeah, definitely under the neck where the scarf is.
Okay.
So he'll put his hands up like he's surrendering, twist his wrist around, think fire, and it'll go straight into his neck.
As he kind of doubles over, Ash is gonna pull his own gun out and point it at him.
So he pulls the dart out of his neck and he covers his hand with the wound, and he's dropped the pistols at this point. This neurotoxin acts very quick. I described it last week. It's like 2,000th of a second, I think, something like. It's like before you even feel the prick of the dart, the neurotoxin is already killing you. That's actually real. The thing.
Yeah.
Conus pepperatus. That's really scary if you think about it. But anyway, yeah. So it's in him, and he's looking at Julius, and he's got like a pissed off, but at the same time, you see his skin start to go pale, and he looks over at you, Ash. And just as that's happening, Pequod appears, and she's gonna hit for 13 points of damage with her unsilenced Makarov pistol. So you hear, ah! People start to panic downstairs, and right when he's about to say something to you, you just see the phased bullet go through his head, the helmet, and he and falls over. And she, holy shit, I got him! I did it all by myself! And she runs
Yeah.
in.
All right. Well.
Yeah, you did good.
All
Well, we
right.
need to run. Now,
Yeah. Let's
because our
quickly
tough
figure out how
probably
to.
don't.
Let's figure out how to explain this as we try to get the fuck out of here.
Oh, Ash, there's no explaining. I got up from the table and grabbed my pistol and ran up here.
Shite.
Okay.
You said 3 clicks, something's wrong. And the butler said you were up here.
Yeah. Let's get out of here.
We could probably rappel through that window over there.
Yeah. Let's go very quickly.
Yep.
All right.
Bolts.
So, you guys make it to your vertibird, fly away, and you find yourself back at Raven Rock.
Jesus fucking Christ.
And Commander Integra actually comes out to greet you this time. I'm not sure where Ash's token is. Hang on. I'll get him. There he is.
He done got drugged to the holler.
There you go. Pequod's standing there.
Ma'am?
She comes out, and she, panic in Colorado, I hear.
You could say that.
Yet Miss Cordelia still lives.
Yes, ma'am.
Report. And Pequod steps in front of you, Ash, kind of pushing her back. I did it with this! Pulls out her pistol. It was all thanks to me. And then steps back.
We found out that her bodyguard was the one planning to kill her. He said he'd been paid by someone larger. Sadly, we won't be able to get that information because it was either we get shot or he did. Pequod came in and neutralized the target, and we got the fuck out of Dodge.
Indeed. She looks over at Pequod and kind of glared. You know, I was watching your cam footage live. You guys did have cams in the... Remember, she gave you these scrubs, so they were doctored well ahead of time. Julius had the situation under control. There was no need to shoot that bodyguard. What was his name? Cato?
Paid.
Cade. There was no need to shoot him, Pequod. I still got him. And she walks away to her vertebrae.
She did, ma'am. But at the very least, at the very least, the delegate's alive.
The delegate's alive. Perpetrator killed. Stopped. It would have been nice to bring him in alive, but at the same time, all I asked is that you prevented the assassination, and you did. Excellent job. An excellent job.
Thank you, ma'am.
And just so you know, Julius, she glares at you, I don't hate you.
Oh, that was a lie to, not be shot.
She smiles, lights her cigarette, and walks away. Good work, men. boys. She'll call you boys and goes back into her. She tells you you're free, you're dismissed. You're free till your next mission.
All right. Well, that went well.
Pequod already hops out of the. She backflips out of the vertibird back in her pilot suit. I am glad to be out of that thing. She spins up her Makarov. Just call me Deadeye. And she aims it off into the distance.
Will do. Gotta say, the dress didn't look bad.
Oh,
I'm gonna see you in it.
it was kind of cool to wear. I'm keeping it, but I prefer. And she, like kind of brushes her pilot outfit shoulders off. I prefer that.
Same.
Yeah, I guess you look cute in everything. And I'll wink at her and walk away.
She puts a thumbs up. Thank you.
All right. Gonna go say hi to the doctor real quick.
Sure.
Doctor, how are you doing today?
She looks up at you, doing some paperwork. Very well. And you, Private.
Doing well, ma'am. Good to see you.
Good to see you, too. How was your mission?
Well, I'd say it was mostly a success. Delegates alive. Assholes dead. You know, simple things.
How'd you kill her?
Well, I've been held up at gunpoint by him. Julius pumped him full of some neurotoxin, and as the guy was going down, our pilot Pequod came in and put a bullet in the side of his head.
That little thing? Never would have thought she was capable.
See, they've got you work to the bone, ma'am.
Ah, yes indeed. Yes indeed. I'm glad to see Julius is back in one piece and moving after his training session and or Slaughterfest.
Well, that's part of why I came down. Mostly just to come say hello. Always a pleasure to be around you, ma'am. But you should probably get the tank ready because I'm gonna badger him into going back.
You're going to badger him into going back.
Yes.
Julius is gonna be behind him. You're gonna badger me? Really?
Hey. It is what it is. What else are you gonna call it?
My choice?
Oh, it's your choice whether I badger you or not.
Well, we're going, obviously.
Good.
You see she walks over here, presses some buttons on a keypad, and you see two blue tanks with blue liquid pull up. I'll have two, just in case.
Appreciate it. And one of these
Sure.
days, I'm going to have to take you out for a lunch to thank you for keeping us in one piece.
Anytime! Anytime. There are actually some good places here to eat.
Well, you take the pick when the time comes.
Will do.
All right.
Come back alive, Juliet.
I'll try my best.
Ash is going to make his way up to the general's office.
Sure.
I guess knock.
She's doing paperwork, stuff like that on her computer work, stuff like that. She sees you, Mr. Valoria.
Salutes, ma'am. I had a request, ma'am.
Speak.
You've given Julius the clearance to train with Lazuli, correct?
I have.
I was going to request the same clearance.
She looks at you, puzzled. You have a death wish?
Not necessarily, but the way I see it, I'm not one who's willing to ask of my squad mates something I'm not willing to do myself.
A good philosophy to have. One moment. She types. You're cleared. I've sent your dossier to her.
Thank you, ma'am.
You plan to return today to her?
Yes, ma'am.
Brave.
I'd say there's a thin line with this between bravery and stupidity, but I'll take the compliment.
Well, if you survive, and I think you both will, you'll come out of it much stronger.
And that's why I'm willing to ask Julius to do it. Think it'll be good for him. And hopefully good for me. Kinda makes a fingers crossed motion at her.
She smiles. She's not one to smile often, but she smiles and says, I await your return. God willing.
God's willing indeed. Well, hopefully I can get back in one piece. Hate for you to have to file even more paperwork about, that.
My number one priority on all my missions I will send you boys on is that you always come back alive.
Appreciate it, ma'am. Thank you.
Good luck! She kind of chuckles.
He, chuckles, Gods know I need it.
Pequod she has a cup of Japanese ramen and she has a bunch of Japanese sodas and she's enjoying it outside of her vertibird and sees you guys walking up. What now?
Julius and I are going to die.
Going to...
We're going
You
back
want to go back?
Yeah, you could say that.
You know most people don't come back.
I know that, but she can't do any worse than what I've already been through.
She pitches you a lemonade and a strawberry Japanese soda. Get in!
Let's go. Shotgun.
Short 15-minute flight.
Ash is gonna just be down. He's gonna just down the soda on the way there. Alright, well. I'll do my damnedest to make sure that he comes back in one piece.
I'll come with you guys. I have, and she has a cooler. It's a smaller one, like a box cooler. I have snacks. I hear Lazuli likes snacks.
That's a good idea. Maybe it'll buy us less broken bones. And, if you want to record it, I'd actually appreciate that.
Sure.
We could sell it.
That's a snuff film, maybe.
Sell it is one thing, but if we do survive, I'd like to be able to read back the tale of the tape and try and learn more from it.
So you make it to the canyon, with the sound of the ocean beating against the side of the canyon over yonder, large waves crashing. Pequod's here. The vertibird lands. Now, you wouldn't know this person, but you see the smoke and dust clear. You see up here, if I'm on the right layer, God willing, Julius willing, you see that guy there, and you see your nightmare standing here. She has a glow to her, what looks like a white glow, just off, a couple inches off of her skin. Or her tracksuit, rather. And this wizard throws, one at a time, fireballs. He pitches one at her, and she doesn't even have to move. She just, with her hand, she swats it away. Off into the sky. He throws another one, gets swatted away. Throws another one, and when he throws the third one, you both have a moment where you don't remember the name, but you see Dale throwing these fireballs. It's not Dale, but you're like, this seems hauntingly familiar. But why? He throws another one, swats it away, and he throws a final one, and she swats it away. And she smirks, and you can hear what they're saying. And she says, you came all this way just to throw fireballs? Let's see the new technique. And you asked for it, my dear, you asked for it. And he puts his hands to the air, creates a huge, huge fireball. It's huge. And this, my dear, is a delayed fireball. And he chucks it at her. And she disappears into the fireball and the smoke. So it consumes, like, the snow on the ground's getting melted, the trees are getting singed, and then it and explodes. And the explosion, actually, Pequod is holding on to the back of Julius to not go flying away as you guys brace yourselves. And as the explosion and dust clear, you see her standing there completely unharmed and touched. This guy, who you don't know his name yet, but you know who it is, he just looks shocked, like huge eyes, and right now, to your eyes, you just see her go from here to here in like half of a blink of an eye. And her hand is in his stomach, and he's, ah! And then as she's twisting her fist in his stomach, she looks over and notices you guys, and she points. And that point goes down to the ground. And she's pointing at the ground in front of her.
She wants us to go up, Julius.
You know shit, Sherlock.
I'm not gonna say no to him. Let's head our way up. They walks up.
Let me grab poor Pequod with her Japanese snack cooler, which may or may not go a long way. She removes her hand from this poor individual's stomach, and he, Jesus, good God, it didn't even scratch you. She smirks at him, and he says, I've been working on that one for 2+ years, my dear. And she says, well, I guess you'll have to try harder next time, Ebenezer. She looks at you guys and, I'm surprised you came back. And who's this one? And she points at Pequod, and she, and jumps behind that.
That's Pequod. She's our pilot, ma'am. She's, I suppose, just here to watch.
Just here to watch. And Pequod comes back out, starts going through her bag. Ebenezer looks at Lazuli, and they kind of move like this. He's still holding his stomach. And he says, strange, you don't make them formally salute you when they come. And she goes, they won't be able to raise their arms to return a dismissal salute. So I really don't care about formalities here. And he chuckles, and he puts his hand out, and she says, this is Ebenezer of the Arcane Council.
A pleasure, sir. Private Asherion Valoris.
He shakes your hand.
Julius Rainfall. He shakes his hand. Do you need medical attention?
Oh, no, young lad, I'm fine. She pulled her punch on that one. I know it didn't look like it, but indeed she did. She smirks at him, and he says, I am indeed a member of the Arcane Council. I lead a strike team. Arcane Council strike team. Kilo Squad. She cuts him off, and she says, you never told me what you came here for. Did you just come to throw inept fireballs at me? And he, no, my student, actually. I've taken on an apprentice. His name is Malcolm. Fine young man. He's here in Antarctica learning with the Red Wizards, and I thought I'd come by and see if you were up for the standing offer from the Arcane Council. She kind of crosses her arms and, yeah, no thanks. Steps away from him. And the Arcane Council, boys, they are the strongest magic users in Earthgard. Arcane Council strike teams are indeed of the highest echelon of combatants and fighters. Lazuli, she kind of shrugs him off, and he says, it is a noble goal to strive for. One day you, perhaps, could be on an Arcane Council strike team. You see Lazuli roll her eyes. And she says, your apprentice, what'd you say, Malcolm his name is? Yes, my lady, Malcolm is his name. You should bring him here to train with me. And he kind of steps away. No, I don't think Malcolm's quite cut out for that. You understand, of course, dear. And she says, I don't know. Hunk's apprentice did well under me. And he, yes, the young Nicole. Well, she's a bit more versatile than Malcolm is, at least at this point. She steps closer to him. He steps back. She crosses her arms and looks at you guys. And she says, what he means to say is, this Nicole is not afraid of a knockdown, drag-out fight. And Malcolm is a pussy. And Ebenezer chuckles. Well, that's one way to look at it. Either way, what are these boys doing here?
We're about to get our asses kicked by her.
Really?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, trust me, I know the feeling. Pequod offers him a soda. Oh, no, thank you, my dear. Well, I'll leave you to it. It was nice to meet you both. I look forward to seeing what you're capable of.
Nice to meet you too, sir. Hopefully, we survive long enough to do that. And he kind of smirks towards Lazuli.
She smirks back at you, and she kind of waves him off. See you later, wizard. And before he leaves one more time, are you sure? One more offer. You can have your own strike squad. You do not have to be part of one. And she, again. And she looks at you guys, and she gestures towards him. What Arcane Council strike squads really are is they play Scooby-Doo detective in space. They're rather redundant, if you ask me. And Ebenezer chuckles, and he, sometimes, perhaps. Either way, boys, it was a pleasure meeting you. I will see you some other time. And he teleports. He uses the teleport spell and teleports away. She stands in front of you guys, glares at Pequod, looks you over. Okay. Let's see here. Pulls up Julius's dossier. Right, Julius Rainfall. And you, Sherion Valorius. Interesting. Roll up your sleeves, Julius.
He'll look around and roll them up, looking away from everyone.
She glares at Pequod as you're rolling up your sleeves. And Pequod puts out a soda. It's a strawberry one. Japanese soda, so she's like, here. Lazuli raises a closed fist, and Pequod, and she starts like bracing to get hit, and she grabs it out of her hand, and she says, you can stay, but you have to she points over there. And she, really? And no talking. Keep your mouth shut. Yes, ma'am. And she, by the way, as Pequod's walking away, no recording. Damn it! And she sits down and spreads out her snacks and a little blanket, and she moves over to you, Julia. Sherion.
Ma'am?
There's a crate up here. She says, go get that crate and carry it over here like a good boy.
Understood, ma'am.
Julius. Lift up your arm.
He lifts it up.
She takes your right arm, right by your wrist is, with her index finger and thumb, and she lifts your arms up. You know, I looked at your body scans that they did to you when you were in basic training. These runes, interestingly enough, don't match any Bloodhunter Order runes in the known galaxy. She lets your hands go. Do you care to explain?
I don't know, honestly.
They have vague
Right.
similarities to a cult, a Bloodhunter cult in the early 19th century, but that cult was gone a long time ago. And by vague similarities, I mean about a 20% similarity.
Well, from what I can remember, my mother gave me these, and, you know, maybe she was a blood hunter, maybe she wasn't. Part of an order or something, I don't know. I just have them. I can do things with blood.
Fair enough. You have them, you can do things with blood, and you're certain your mother is perished.
Yeah, 80% chance.
Fair enough. Now she makes a closed fist and she puts it right where your rib cage splits. It's all like flesh there. She puts it right there. And she pushes, not hard, but she's pushing into it. And she says, you're a fighter, or at least you call yourself one, but you don't quite know how to tap into your ki. Today, we'll help you tap into your ki.
What is key exactly?
It's energy. It's the energy your body creates. And it can be amplified by the earth around you. It doesn't have to be earth in particular. But she's pushing in to this part of your stomach, and she says this, your center of your body, your center mass, is where your ki comes from. However, to unlock it and really be able to use it, it helps to know oneself. And I get the feeling you really don't know yourself.
He'll just shrug.
What do you remember about Mom?
My mother specifically?
Yes.
He'll shrug. She was tall, black hair, with white in it, green eyes. She was nice at times. Other times she would sort of torture me. And
When last you were
Eventually
here,
she-
you said you hoped she was dead.
yes.
And
I
why is that?
did. She took a couple people away from me that I loved.
And they were.
I don't feel comfortable saying that.
She still has her hand in yours, and she pushes in. Well then, you can leave here that way, and she points over to the canyon. You can leave here that way, or you can leave here in a body bag, or you can just tell me. If you don't want your friends to know, he doesn't have to hear anything. And she snaps, and Ash is frozen in place.
Oh.
I would rather not leave in a body bag. It was a good friend of mine. I believe his name was Cillian. And, Izzy.
She unsnaps Ash, and he kind of and falls over with the pot. And she says, Izzy, girlfriend?
He nods.
Interesting. How old were they?
Cillian, when he was taken away, was about 16, 17 maybe. Izzy, she was a little younger than that, and I was the youngest.
Fair enough. She retracts her hand. The reason I ask, she crosses her arms, is being able to unlock the potential of your key. It helps to know oneself. You don't seem to know yourself. Either you both feign naivety, and she glares at Ash, or you really are children. You're from some backwater colony that apparently didn't even have access to the E-net, which I find very hard to believe. Either way, I'm not here to pass judgment. However, we need to find a trigger point for you to unlock your key and your limit break. My trigger point, without going into details, was rage. Yours, I think with what little you've told me, would be rather similar. Rage towards your mother. She points up here. Go over there. Do you know how to meditate properly? Did mommy teach you that?
He's gonna close his eyes like he wants to say something. I think so, man.
Go over there and meditate. But you need to think about the worst day of your life, the most angry point in your life, the most rage-filled seconds of your life. You need to think and focus on them. And that will unlock your key abilities.
He nods, and he walks over there.
She looks over at Ash. Open the crate.
Yes, ma'am. Opens the crate.
So you push a button on it, and it opens, and it like lifts up.
Okay.
Why didn't that one come? So it lifts up, and there are a bunch of different weapons that come out of it. Just leave the crate right here. You're standing here on the other side of the table, and she's standing on the other side of it. And she says, so, you either feign naivety to be cute, or you're hiding something, or you're either really clueless. Either way, you need to be taught about the differences between weapons and tech. Do any of these look somewhat familiar to you?
Well, of course, points to the right, that's shotgun. Other slugs or spread rounds. Points to the rifle. It's an assault rifle, can switch between semi-automatic and full automatic. Looks at that one. He would recognize what a plasma gun would look like after being shot by one, right?
Yeah.
I don't have much experience with them, but I would go say these are plasma weapons based off the design. Well, actually, no, I said he'd been researching that, so he wouldn't look like a fool. These are laser weapons, pistol and rifle respectively, ma'am.
She walks over to the lasers. Now, you notice she, with an open hand, she points at the weapons, but she never touches them. You would notice that very quickly. She points at the laser rifle and the pistol. Laser weaponry, generally speaking, is considered clean weaponry. That means short travel time to no travel time. And the kick is all horizontal, not, she puts up a finger, vertical, like your pistols, or that shotgun on your... Laser weaponry struggles against heavily armored targets. Light armored targets, it shreds. Plasma weaponry, she points down to these, are extremely expensive. Generally speaking, the kick is all horizontal, back into your shoulder. That being said, plasma weaponry is slower to fire. You've been shot at by it?
Yes, ma'am. It seemed to have a slower rate of fire as well as a travel time.
Indeed, it takes a skilled shooter to master firing these weapons. A very skilled shooter. The range, generally speaking, is much lower than, and she points back to the laser weaponry. That being said, plasma does the most damage of any current man-portable weapon systems available, even railgun technology. She walks over here, points to the glowing magazines on the table. Phased ammunition. It's the go-between between conventional ammo like those pistols and your shotgun and plasma weaponry. The problem with phased weaponry, Mr. Private Valorius, is that it's a one-way street. Once the barrels of a gun are phased, they can never fire unphased ammunition. Make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
And break action grenade launcher. She points at it. Have you ever fired one?
No, not something like that, no, ma'am. He wouldn't have, right?
No.
Not anything quite like that, ma'am.
She walks back and she's gesturing towards all the guns. You need to acquaint yourself with all the weapons technology that's available, at least what you would most likely come up against. What tickles your fancy the most here?
He's gonna take a good hard look. Think about the stuff he's used in the past. You know, I've always been a fan of single shot, skill-based weaponry, so, and he's gonna, it's probably a bad idea, but picks up the plasma rifle.
Interesting choice. Now, if you look in Fire and Ash, put them all on your character sheet. Interesting choice. You'll shoot all of them and learn how all of them work. You have to. It's part of your job. And we'll see if you're really feigning naivety or not.
I'm guessing I'd only have proficiency with the M4.
Yes, but you'll gain proficiency over time. You take your time, put them all on your sheet. She looks over at Julius. Julius is meditating. What second is Julius? What that 5 second span? What is he focusing on?
The moment that Izzy uttered her final word to him and died bleeding out while Davine was standing there watching him was the moment that vengeance entered his heart.
Okay. What were her final words?
I love you.
Okay. So you're sitting there and you can't feel it because you're so caught up in the moment. But you're like maybe 2 inches off the ground. She has to kind of get down on one hand and look to see if you're off the ground. And she kind of lifts herself back up, comes over, taps you on the head. Your eyes open. What are you thinking about?
What do you mean when what is he feeling, or just what is the
Yeah.
first thought
What's
that
his feeling? Like, what's going on in his brain?
he needs to protect himself?
Okay, cool. She looks down. She's looking down at you because you're meditating, and she says to you in a soft, almost motherly tone of voice, "Do you feel the energy where I put my fist earlier?" And you would.
Yes.
Now you have to concentrate that and push it out of your body, and that is how you control your ki. It's easier to do it, Julius, here when you're in nature, on Earth, on grass, on rock, on land. In a building, it will be much harder. And this area is already predisposed to my ki energy, so it will be easier for you to tap into it here than anywhere else. Here, in time, you'll even be able to fly. Out there, on missions, you probably won't be able to, especially if you're in a building or a military base. But over time, if you dedicate yourself to the craft, you can do it and master it anywhere. But here it will be easier for you.
He's just gonna nod.
Have you noticed you're off the ground? And she kind of turns her head and looks down at the ground.
Wait, what?
Indeed. Only a couple inches, and she puts her hand under your legs to show you.
He's gonna look down.
Don't break focus,
Feel
and she
like
snaps her finger. Keep concentrating on that moment, and concentrate on pushing that energy from your center mass out throughout your entire body. And she points 5 feet in the air.
He's just gonna nod and keep thinking about it.
She strolls back over to Ash with hands in her pocket. Okay, trigger puller. Plasma weaponry it is first.
Yes, ma'am.
Shoot the tree over there, if that's not too hard for you.
Alright, he's gonna turn. Gonna put it up to his shoulder. Breathe, fire. I'm waiting for it to roll.
No,
I'm
it won't roll.
I'm gonna reload my... Oh, there it is.
Okay, so you hit the tree. She watches the glob of plasma hit the tree. Do you see how long it took for that plasma to get to that tree?
Yes, I do, ma'am.
Plasma weaponry takes years and years of training. Years. Hunk, she puts up her hand, a former student of mine. Ebenezer and I mentioned her. Her name was Nicole. Hunk, that's his apprentice, prefers, and she points down to this right here, the plasma pistol. She wields dual laser pistols. Laser weaponry tends to be the gateway to energy weapon mastery. Most people tend to start with lasers and go up to plasma.
Understood, ma'am.
Pick up something else and shoot the tree.
Alright. Her being in front of it, he's gonna grab the laser pistol.
There's 2, so you can dual wield the pistols.
Alright. I'll make a full round of attacks with these.
She's gonna watch you and keep an eye on Julius slowly raising up off the ground.
Okay, there's my 3 attacks.
Okay, you hit the tree.
These feel more comfortable.
Every time you're firing, she's looking at Julius to see if his concentration breaks. And it's not.
Okay. Sets them down, picks up the laser rifle. See what you mean by laser weaponry being easier.
It's definitely easier, but it has far more limitations in terms of damage.
Sets that down, picks up the plasma pistols. There's 2, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Full round of attacks.
Julius getting higher and higher.
These would have, like you said, a much higher skill ceiling. Better for in close engagements.
Akin to revolvers, really.
He kind of perks up at that, and that kind of connects immediately. Yes, ma'am. Actually quite like these. Feels a bit, like home, you could say. In a way. Sets them down. Walks over and picks up the M4.
This should be, and she pulls up your dossier, this should be easier for you, albeit your assault rifle training scores are pitiful.
They are. He's going to, take, his shots with this.
Hits the tree, glances over at Julius, no broken concentration. She thinks to herself, whatever happened to him must have been very bad. Caused him to be that angry about it that all these weapons going off should break a novice's concentration, but it's not.
Like you said, much more comfortable with this. And then he walks over and picks up the grenade launcher. Alright.
It depends on the ammunition type. The grenades that are here in this crate are your standard fragmentation grenades. All these weapons you see before you private are materials group weaponry. Materials group is weapons made by EarthGov. There are, and she points, she never touches them, but she points down, there are even attachments for these weapons. So you could make, with a beam splitter, a shotgun laser pistol. With an automatic cylinder, you could make an automatic laser rifle, a sniper laser rifle, if that makes sense.
It does, ma'am.
These weapons aren't limited, it's just these are the bare bones stock issued, and for the most part, SIS operatives tend to prefer laser and plasma weaponry.
Makes sense. You have the benefits of laser weaponry for some missions, the benefits of plasma. A lot of missions would have those benefits be enough to deal with the drawbacks instead of regular conventional weaponry.
As you finish that sentence, she notices Julius is about 6 feet in the air now, and she snaps her finger and yells, "Julius, behind you!" Roll a Constitution check. Actually, I don't know if it would be con for Julius. I guess it would be wisdom? Roll wisdom, Julius. Oh. Jewel 5 went up.
Uh-oh.
Stinky.
Uh-oh.
Raptoid. Jewel toy.
Raw.
Nemtoid. Nee.
He's, I guess, to fill the silence and roleplay while that's going on, he's just looks over at Julius. Oh, you back?
Yeah, I'm back.
Good.
Okay, so Julius, as Ash was shooting the weapons, she was keeping an eye on you, trying to see if the sound of the weapons going off relatively close to you broke your concentration, and they did not. And so she yelled, "Julius, behind you!" Roll a wisdom check. She yelled it in a very loud, piercing voice. Okay, so you break concentration. Her voice is still terrifying to you, and you like come to and you realize you're 6 feet in the air, and then you start to drop. Damn it! You hit the ground, and as you're coming up and rubbing the back of your head, you see Pequod has the she's here now, and she has a sign she's made with just marker and a piece of paper that says "Go Julius."
Oh.
She walks over to you, Julius, and extends a hand.
He looks at it and stands up on his own.
She smirks
Takes
and
a step backwards.
walks back. Oh, that's forward. Back. Interesting. So you can feel the energy coming through your body. You can feel when you're pushing it out of your body. Now you have to hone that energy when you're throwing strikes. Throw open palm strikes, not closed fist strike. And show me your stance. She points at you.
He'll drop into a normal, like, arm down at your floating rib, arm up against your chest.
She studies the stance and nods. Now, you have to push that energy and control it through your fists with your strike when you're striking. Open palm. Punch, and she points that tree. And I'd like to see that tree down, Julius, in the next 5 minutes. And she clicks something on her wrist computer, and you see a stopwatch of 5 minutes going down. It's a big fucking tree. It's a big tree, Julius.
You better get started then.
Okay. So, Julius is hitting the tree. She comes over to you, Ash. Which weapon are you currently holding?
He never put the grenade launcher down because he was about to try it out when everything with that happened.
Okay. It's a break action. Do you know how to use a break action?
That would be very similar to the some of the way he would probably have used a break action at his time period, right?
Sure.
Yeah, he looks at it. Takes him a sec to figure out exactly how this one works, but opens it.
Just roll your fist attacks for the tree, Julius. So she only has fragmentation grenades, but they'll do 4d6 damage. The frag grenade.
Right.
So you can put that on your sheet if you want. And she says, "Okay, shoot the cliff face up here." You'll notice when you fire it, the grenades arc.
Okay, he's gonna settle in and take a shot.
She looks back at Julius punching the tree.
How many would you want me to roll?
Just roll like. What's the whole value? Give me 8. So it fires. You see the explosion. Go ahead.
Alright.
She watches the explosion settle from the grenade launcher. So, of all these weapons, which one would you say you're most interested in starting with?
Well, you said, start at the bottom. Would probably be a good idea. Then, I guess use the thing that is closest to what I'm used to, and picks up the M4. I need to improve my assault rifle skills, as you said, and this is the beginning point on getting into energy weapons, ma'am.
Julius fucking chopping down a tree. And as you're doing it, Julius, you're finding it's easier and easier to push that energy through your fist, through your shoulder, through your wrist, because you're focusing on that moment. That horrible moment of Julius's life. The most horrible moment of his life. She points to the ground. Come here, Ash. Right next to her.
Yes, ma'am. Comes right in front of her and just stands kind of obviously intimidated, but still just trying not to look it.
She snaps her fingers, and you see a robot comes up and has a bunch of dolls that looks like a wizard. And she picks it up, and she says, "Shoot!" And she throws it into the air.
All right.
And it's extremely high in the air.
Breathe. Shot.
You kill it.
Okay.
She grabs another one. Shoot! Throws it up in the air.
All right. Shot.
She grabs one more and shoot. And she seems very unenthused to be doing this. You blow the wizard doll out of the air. She crosses her arms, watches it explode and fall into a bunch of pieces. Wow, I'm impressed. I'm really impressed. Now, she walks over here to you. What was it you said last week? The man makes the weapon? Is that right?
Yes, ma'am. Without someone using it, it's just a worthless piece of steel.
Okay. If the man makes the weapon, what does the man do? And before you can even react, you get hit with an open palm strike right in your stomach, and it hurts like you've never been hit like that before. What does the man do now? And you see, you're going to have to roll at disadvantage. and you see another doll go flying in the air, and you get hit again with another open palm shoot. All right, you hit, and she's gonna hit you again, and another doll up here appears and goes flying in the air. You don't have to negate or you don't have to worry about your health.
Okay. I'm not even gonna try using grit because I assume I'm not supposed to, so take the shot with disadvantage.
17 to hit this doll.
Nope.
And you miss. Goes flying to the ground. She walks over and steps on it, crushing it. At the same time, Julius knocks down the tree, and she looks over at him. Impressive.
Do it again, please.
Do it again, please. She walks away from you. Shoot me.
Shoot you, ma'am.
Go ahead.
Oh, alright. Takes the shot.
You're shooting an automatic volley
Oh.
of weapons. You don't have to be at disadvantage.
Let me
You can
re-roll
re-roll
that.
it. So the bullets, you see, kind of like in the Matrix, they just stop in front of her. And she looks past, she looks at the bullets, she kind of touches one and it falls out of the sky, and she looks down unamused at it. And she looks back up at you, and she glares, and she says, "If the man makes the weapon, what does the man do now?" She closes her eyes and smirks, and before you can finish what you're about to say, she says, looks right at you, like the death glare. And she says, "If you say I don't know, you will go into the ocean."
He kind of sits thinking for a second. If the gun ain't gonna work, try something else. And he's going to look at the the sleet above her on the thing.
Sure.
And take a shot at it, trying to knock some stuff down onto her.
Okay.
He knows it's not gonna matter.
It knocks, and it all kind of falls. That aura she's projecting, it protects her, and just it all falls off around her. And she looks around. At least it's intuitive thinking. And then she limit breaks, so and she gets the aura around her intensifies, and she says, "Okay, the man makes the weapon. What does he do now?"
He, as stupid as this is, nothing else he can do other... I'm sorry, I'm thinking. Knowing it's not doing anything, he's gonna do something really stupid. Knowing it's not a really bad idea, he's gonna put this volley of bullets not aiming at her, but aiming over her shoulder.
She sees them go over her shoulder.
And when he does that, he's gonna pop his action surge, and he's gonna stupidly do what he would do in this situation and run in and try to tackle her.
Okay.
Alright. What should I roll? As stupid as I am.
Strength, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, so just like the cell gif where where they're hitting them and nothing happens, your shoulder's tucked into her stomach, and she looks down at you, and you see
Bad idea.
a karate chop this will count now, to the back of your neck for 18 points of damage. She lifts your head up with her finger, and she says, "At least it's intuitive thinking, Private Valori." Blasts you away for 17 points of damage. You go flying back here into the table. She walks over to Julius. "Pick yourself up, trigger puller." The tree has fallen at this point. She notices the singe marks from the fire damage. She looks at it, looks at Julius. "How did that feel?"
almost hitting a tree.
Let me see your fist.
Show it to her.
They're bloody and filled with wood. Do you feel anything? Does it hurt? Would it hurt Julius, or is he so caught up in the moment? That's up to you.
Oh, I think that adrenaline is pumping.
Very good. What do you want to focus on, Julius? Do you want to increase your striking damage, or do you want to learn to fly? Again, flying takes years, but we can increase your striking damage.
I think for now, with my current occupation, it's the best idea to increase my striking damage. I don't see much use for flying when I'm in a high and mighty manner trying to figure out who's a murderer.
She kind of turns her head. That's the mission she sent you on?
Yes.
As Ash picks himself up. How did it go?
Found the
We
murderer.
found him.
Stopped him from killing the target.
Interesting. Julius, when you're back at base, she puts her finger out at you. Practice your meditation. It'll be harder to do surrounded by metal, steel, and technology. Here, again, it will be easier, but you need to practice while you're at base. Anytime you have free time, instead of palling around, and she points over her shoulder with that goon around the base, who I hear likes to make passes at the doctor. And she turns and smirks at you. Practice and focus. The more you can do it there, the easier everything will be here. Now, go take a seat with your little girlfriend over there, and she points to Pequod, and enjoy the show.
This is gonna be fun.
Crosses her arms and walks over to Ash. The man makes the weapon. Did you read that on the back of a fortune cookie?
No, ma'am, I lived it.
You lived it. Do tell.
To be 100% honest, I ain't lived a charmed life. I've, had the shit kicked out of me by bigger and stronger people more times than I can count. It is what it is. You just get stronger from it or you die.
Fair enough. She walks over to you. I'm waiting for the man to make the weapon.
Looking at her, looks at the gun. This thing ain't gonna do shit to you. As stupid as it is, he's gonna try and stock strike her right in the face.
Okay.
I'm guessing that'd be a melee attack. I'll have to roll that one up.
Yeah. Oh! Just roll a strength check. I mean, actually. Or maybe a dex. Whatever you're better at.
I'll do dex.
Instead of
Slightly
wasting
better.
time.
No.
And just
Damn.
like in Dragon Ball, you know, when they easily dodge, like slow people, she just kind of turns her head. And as she's, dodging her head, just moving her head, you feel something on your throat, and your helmet flips off your head, because she flips your helmet off your head with her thumb. I imagine you guys aren't here in Nurse Scrubs.
Yeah.
Flips the helmet off the head, pops the top off, and she starts squeezing your throat. And she says, "No man makes a weapon." Squeezes tighter, and you can't breathe. You can feel your trachea being crushed. And she says, "Purity of will and raw determination make a warrior." And she throws you over here on your stomach.
He's
Stand up.
gonna get up, dust himself off. Alright.
Walks over here with her arms crossed, awkwardly inching towards you. I'm not sure how Ash feels, but go ahead.
Alright. Takes the gun and is just going to shoot. I'm gonna actually use a grit on this for an advantage shot if my thing would cooperate.
Nice shot. You shoot. You see the same effect happen with the bullet.
He's just gonna stand his ground, use another grit, and do the same thing.
And as you try to do that, both of your shoulders pop out of your sock. And now your arms are dangling and the pistols or whatever you're using falls out of your hand. And she says the man makes the weapon. What does he do now? I'm waiting. And she slaps you across the side of your face.
Same thing he would do years later in the Tewas fight. He's just gonna rear back and headbutt her.
She stops it with one finger. At least you have determination. Have a nice bath in the Kolto tank, Ash, and I'll see you next. And she spinning kicks you, and all the lights go up. She looks over at Julius, picks Ash up by his backpack, tosses him over. I'll see you next time. And she walks away.
Thank you, ma'am.
Pequod, ah! She's like, she dropped all of her food. Ash! Ash! And Ash is completely unconscious.
Oh, he's fine. He'll live.
She helps you get him back to the Vertibird and back to Raven Rock with dislocated, destroyed Ash. Missing helmet Ash, too. This time, since they know where you were going, the guards come and they help escort Ash to the med bay. Julius, you can come with. And the doctor expected this time. They put him in the Kolto tank. And Ash, you come to the med tank, whatever you want to call it. Ash, you come to, and you are in an unimaginable. I know Ash is like this. Nothing hurts me. I'm this toughest guy in the world. This hurts. This hurts. Both your shoulders are dislocated, and you can't see almost out of the. She hit you on the right side of the head with the kick. You can't see out of your right eye. Pequod's looking in the tank at you. The doctor's just shaking her head. And she looks at Julius and she says, there is something different about you. You were there for, let's say, like 4 or 5 hours this took total. Pequod looking
Julius-
horrified. Go ahead.
Julius is just gonna shrug and start picking wood out of his knuckles.
She looks down at your knuckles. Here, let me help you with it. Sit down here at the table with it.
He's gonna sit down.
She gets tweezers, cotton swabs, alcohol. It will burn. It will hurt. She looks over at Ash, and she just shakes her head. Ash, are you awake?
I am, ma'am.
What did she do to him, Julia?
Basically the same thing she did with me. Reality check. Made him use weapons. Weapons didn't work against her. She kicked his ass. Shoulders.
She made a point.
Both
One.
shoulders.
Mm-hmm. She made a point that I think I needed to get.
You hear the sound of a can open, and Pequod is pouring soda into the can. Where'd you get out of here? And she's sorry, and she was pouring it into your tank, trying to give you some. And she runs away.
She means well.
She's an idiot. But she's rather cute.
I suppose.
She-
Right, Julius? You could see the
Look up at
shit-eating
him.
grin through the tank.
Go look up at him. At least I didn't get both my arms dislocated.
Yet.
There does seem to be something different about Julius. I feel the hair on you is standing up, like on your arms, your knuckles, and stuff like that, because you've just recently unlocked your true Kai, your true Ki potential. So there's definitely an energy to you that other people, even people who aren't attuned to things, can sense. Something is different about you. And you definitely feel stronger. You were never able to punch a tree down before in your life. We'll say it took, like the better part of the training hours, but you are definitely stronger and you feel stronger. Whether you are going to let on to that or not with people is totally up to you, though. So she finishes cleaning off your knuckles and she looks over at Ash. Well, Julius, I think you're on your own for a couple days. He's going to be in that tank for at least 4 days.
Yeah. Gives me time to do what I need to do.
Is there anything I can do for you before you leave?
No, just I don't know. When he gets out, punch him in the face for me. I don't know. It'd be
Punch him in the face. I think he's been hurt enough.
Yeah, if you don't, I will. And he looks over at Ash and flips him off.
Love you too.
Alright. Get better, Ash. And I'll walk away.
You're welcome to come visit him anytime, Julius.
I'll think about it.
That's good. She kind of puzzledly looks at Julius as he walks out and doesn't seem to be too much of a friend to you, does he?
No, but he's going through shit. It is what it is. Yeah. Everyone has their demons.
Fair enough. Can I get you anything in their fish tank, boy?
No, ma'am. Your company is gift enough.
Speaking of that, Ash, and then you see this headhunter come in, the dwarf. Ah, Dr. Contry, you ready to go out for dinner? I guess you're on your own, Ash. I'm sorry, but I do have a dinner date. See ya! And she leaves Ash alone in the fucking tank.
Fair enough. And he's thinking about what she said to Julius. He's gonna spend his own time thinking about where, I guess not his key, but where his will comes from.
Well, everybody has. It's like Dragon Ball. They taught Vidal's daughter to fly. Everybody can do it. It's a matter of, like, in this universe, it's a matter of if you dedicate yourself to training to do it, you can be extremely powerful. Like, Julius obviously dedicated himself in Squad Sigma. By the time Squad Sigma kicked off, he dedicated himself to increasing his damage, his martial arts form, to where he could punch through a chest of power armor and kill a guy. The hit right at his heart stopped his heart, and the guy, like, Julius definitely did. You didn't because you're a gunslinger. But everybody has it. You could learn to do very basic things, for sure.
Okay. He's gonna start thinking about that, thinking about where his strength, his will, his whatever comes from. I guess just replay everything she said, replay what she did, replay what he's been through in his head during his isolation.
And we will pick up there next week.
Alright, I'm gonna
As Ash sits alone. Poor Ash.
That could be worse.
Maybe we'll have Thomas come sit with you.
Oh god, instead of Mercurius.
Thomas will keep you company.
Alright.